I feel like I was getting into a rhythm yesterday, right around that point. And I put in the circle, you know, maybe the extra 14 or 16 hours, whatever it was, helped. I'm in the lead now after 2, so that's, if we get a cancellation, I'm in a good spot this time.
Putting extremely well between yesterday and then I even followed it up today with some really nice putts. Super excited, man. You can't ask for a better opportunity.
And welcome back to beautiful Des Moines, Iowa for the final round of the 2021 Des Moines Challenge presented by Discraft. I am Ian Anderson, joined by world champion, 3-time world champion Nate Doss, got to give all of them, and U.S. champion Nathan Sexton. What a day has been today already. Oh my goodness. That. Oh yes. This is amazing. That haircut is.
Yeah, man. That's that middle school band shirt. I didn't bank on making the finals. I only had so many colored shirts. There's my brother on the bag.
He still has the same hair.
We took the train to this tournament, I remember. Me and my brother jumped on the train, rolled into Des Moines. Yep, 4th place. 525 shots, man. I was out there grinding.
What a treat from our producers there. I love that.
Wow.
One.
That was awesome. 525 shots, man. That's
we
what it
spent
takes
some time
in
in
the
Des
world.
Moines. We spent some time over there.
Not to mention all the practice
Oh
rounds.
my gosh. All right, let's get off that. Let's talk about today. What's jumping out at you today? What are you watching?
Well, obviously it's Paul McBeth. I mean, he's the leader of the tournament, and we'll get into it here in a minute. But boy, you got to look at Paul. But there's a slew of guys, Sexton, that are just right behind him, waiting to take it if he's not wanting it.
Yeah, I mean, it almost feels like round 2 was earlier this morning, and he was hot then. If he can keep that going, I think it's going to be a pretty quick work, but that's not always the case. I mean, there's a lot of players going. Let's see how Paul kind of got it done earlier today as we concluded round 2, thanks to all these weather delays we've been having in Des Moines.
Yep, just a few hours ago, Paul McBeth came back after parking it and made the putt.
Yeah, that was after the tee shot back on Saturday. Came back for the birdie on Sunday, and then played 11 just absolutely perfectly. Guys, you got to remember back, it was about mid-round, mid coverage. It was like the fairway of hole 6. I said for historical reference, Paul McBeth is 8 strokes behind the lead. That was on Saturday. He comes out on Sunday, plays almost perfectly into the clubhouse, and he has a 1-shot lead. There's something about Paul McBeth, and I was telling Nate this earlier. It's like he has now proven it to me. After Worlds, after this, there really is just no quitting this guy no matter what.
Yeah, kept getting pushed down that board, but kept fighting right back up at Worlds and further cemented that man's GOAT legacy in my eyes. I mean, just an incredible second-place finish there and bounce it back this week beautifully.
Couple players just one behind, though, and what stands out to me, Gavin Rathbun, Paul McBeth, they both shot 10 under. It's just a different feeling because McBeth charged home today. Gavin felt a little slower, especially with the 7 on the final hole, but that makes it even crazier that he shot a 10 under. 13 birdies on this course, so clearly he has the throwing skill. I think 13 under, even McBeth is going to have a hard time dealing with that if Gavin were able to put something like that together for this final round.
And we saw our first-time Elite Series winner this morning in Missy Gannon taking down the FPO side. We'll see a repeat on the MPO side with Gavin Rathbun possibly taking down a 5-time world champ. We're going to find out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people that have the chance to do it. We just saw the stat there. Paul McBeth has not won a DGPT quite yet. This is the latest in the season.
Wow.
It's been since 2016 that hasn't happened. But remember, coming off his second-place finish at Worlds, this guy hasn't not won a tournament after Worlds in years. So a lot of work for a lot of these guys.
Out of Tartu, Estonia. Representing
I don't think my son was alive to witness the last time that happened. He's 7. Albert Tam on the box. Shooting the bazooka up the fairway. My goodness, he throws far.
Yeah, he's one of those guys, and there's quite a few on this list that's incredible to watch, but also so annoying how slow and smooth and easy the run-up looks, and then you're like, oh, he's just kind of laying one up, I guess. And then the thing
350,
just
450,
doesn't
oh,
turn.
550.
Yeah, just cruising out there. It's incredible how not explosive it really looks, but how actually fast he is. It's just a testament to how good his form is.
And Austin Hannum had a slow start to the year, but it's starting to bubble up in these last couple events.
Yeah, coming off a 9 under par performance in the second round. He was one of those guys we were watching just kind of chug up the leaderboard.
And we thought this guy would be in the top 4 to start round 3, but
just uncharacteristic mistakes this morning. I mean, coming out, going OB on the very first hole and just unable to really get it going.
Calvin ripping on one of his destroyers.
Yeah, I think it's a long season. I think, you know, Calvin felt a little bit of a lull at the World Championships. He's kind of down in a valley a little bit. Sort of seemed like he was out of it, but the delay threw him for a little bit of a loop. See if he can kind of pick up on that good form that he had early in the round, because I feel like he's the guy you're really watching on this second card with a chance to make things interesting.
And always fun to watch a lefty play, and doubly so when that's Chris Clemens. Has a fantastic forehand and a pretty solid backhand as well. That one, unfortunately, is early and found the tree. And I mentioned him earlier, trying to chase down his first signature win, Gavin Rathbun. And last time we saw him up at the top on the league card on cam was out at Waco. We got this one, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had a good performance. It was not a great performance in the final round. He got a little fortunate there on number 1, but it just overall his score wasn't great. He wasn't anywhere near the lead as we came down to the finish. But, you know, for Gavin, what he has to do on a day like today is not try to be perfect. You don't have to go out there and see your spot and try to throw it into a tiny little circle. You just need to go out there and execute. I mean, you're going up against the greatest player of all time. You got to just execute and let it come to you. That's the only way you're going to beat Paul McBeth, and maybe Paul slips a little bit and you're right there to take it.
Yeah, we've seen him. He came off to a slow start yesterday. You know, we were almost writing him off for the league card that final round, but he made that late charge.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what we're talking about. I mean, he fed off of Calvin Heimberg. He didn't hide from it.
Yeah.
And that's what he needs to do today. He just can't try to be out there and be perfect. It's not going to work.
Chris Clemens, early tree. We're looking at his second shot, a ways to the pin.
I liked what Gavin said in his interview. You couldn't ask for a better opportunity. Opportunity is the word that you want to use. That takes pressure off of him, because this is an opportunity. This isn't like a do or die. This is a situation where he has a chance to do something special, and if he can keep that mind frame, give himself opportunities hole after hole, see if he can make some putts, that's how you're going to have success in a big moment like this.
Solid gallery out there, even for the chase card. Austin Hannum getting ready for his second shot. I want to say forehand dominant player, Austin. He's got a great one.
Yeah, he's good both ways, but definitely has a big-time forehand. We'll see it here.
Former college pitcher, I believe.
Yeah, Hannum he's a gritty competitor. You know, you really can't pinpoint anything that he's great at, but he goes out there and gets it done.
Yeah, that's well put, Nate.
And he ripped this.
Look at this. That's huge.
Yeah, his forehand is incredible.
Swing over here to Albert Tam, and then Calvin Heimberg.
Looks like Tam is grabbing the range real quick.
I mean, Albert was on a roll this morning as well. Like, I should say, Saturday afternoon. And
it's a
he
weird one.
kind of kept it going, but he just faltered a little bit. See if he can find a little bit of that magic he had yesterday today.
This is probably the best angle I can remember anybody having into this green. He really got this thing left.
Yep. Just think Calvin's is even better.
Yeah, I was just about to say, wait till you see Calvin.
And that happens every time Calvin's on the card. We keep saying amazing shot. Oh, wait, here comes Calvin.
10 feet closer. Albert with a butte to edge of circle.
Bazooka opportunity, perhaps.
Oh, sure. Would love to see it early and often.
Yeah, today hole number 1 playing so much easier. I guess easier is a relative term, but
Yeah.
yesterday only 6% birdies. Today 13% birdies.
Oh,
so
double.
over double
Yeah.
the amount.
Calvin Heimberg. Looks like an eagle for Vinny. It's a little low.
Edge.
But still,
Yeah.
it's still good. And some things might have happened earlier in the day. We're going to show you that right now. You're looking at Zachariah Johnson on hole 5.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I'm going, what's Mo showing us the weather? I mean, it looks like a huge thunderstorm cloud. But no, it's a storm.
Nice.
Zachariah takes that 1 on hole number 5. Wasn't a great day for him in round 2. But, wow, nice start.
Yeah.
Shouts to Sarah Gilpin for the footage, I believe, right?
Yeah, cell phone footage. You got to be ready.
Yeah, she was on it, filming horizontal even for us. Pro move. Iowa corn to an Iowa man, Ben Calloway.
Lot to play for Ben, and he is just 1 shot back. I'm excited.
Yeah, we should talk about him a little more. It's definitely in contention and would love to put on a performance from the hometown crowd. Approach from Chris Clemens will leave a par putt coming his way. And I don't know if we've mentioned Ezra yet. Having a good day.
Yeah, Aderhold coming up big down there. I mean, when we first came on air, he had played 5 holes. He was 5 for 5. He then went on to birdie number 6, 6 for 6, and he has gone on to par number 7. So still, what a day for Ezra. It's interesting. We're going to see Albert Tam lining up here, but we talked so much about Paul McBeth not winning a DGPT yet. To me, Calvin Heimberg is the best player this year to have not won a Disc Golf Pro Tour. He's been in the top 5 of every single one so far. So, when's Calvin going to finally break out? I think the world's not going to help him there, but still.
Albert for birdie. No bazooka here, unfortunately. Got a little away from him.
Sexton, you mentioned Tam just not putting well. His stats at Worlds showed that to us. He's going to have to clean that up.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly he has to an extent, even to be here. I think statistically at Worlds, the way he was putting, you're not making any second cards, no matter how good you drive it.
Yeah.
But so he's on the way, but he's going to have to putt actually very well to be a factor today. We're going to have to see bazooka celebrations. We're going to have to see the arrow, the archer, all that.
And the last man to talk about on our league card, and I don't think we've seen much of him this weekend, is Raven Newsom.
Yeah, Raven is a young player out of the Asheville area. I lived there for a couple years, and I saw him at every doubles league and putt night, and he was probably 16 at the time and really just hungry to play, and he's turned into a great pro.
Yeah, I want to say 21 or 22.
He's something like that,
Yeah.
probably.
Calvin Heimberg trying to start his day with a birdie.
Oh, no. Just barely off.
That's going to hurt his chances. Going to need every one of those strokes today.
I think if you're any one of these guys, and including Raven and Rathbun and all the, I mean, you got to look at Missy Gannon, right? The years of effort, the years of being on tour. Missy Gannon made it happen this morning in incredible fashion. It's possible. Any one of these guys can do it.
I hit a circle's edge putt for the win. It was such a clutch, incredible thing to watch. Albert Tam saves par, gets away with it. And they are going to make us watch Calvin Heimberg spit out again as Chris Clemens saves par. Here is that spit out. Spit out or miss putt, you be the judge.
All right, I'm clued in. Let's see.
Thinking just a little left.
I'm voting miss.
Yeah, I'm in that same camp. And Terry is on the ground. Take it away, Terry.
Hey everyone, Terry Miller checking in. We're going to be teeing off in just about 10 minutes, and excitement is in the air. Also, what's in the air? Humidity. Paul McBeth said that this morning things were really comfortable. Nothing that he really noticed. However, he says he can feel the humidity now, so that's going to play a little bit different for him this afternoon. He was wondering if we're going to get all of the holes in, if we're going to get a complete round in. I said, it looks like the radar is clear. I think you guys are going to play all 18 holes. And just as we were saying that, we noticed a huge cloud passing over us, a very dark one. But there's no rain, there's no precipitation right now, so hopefully we'll get them all in. Gavin Rathbun, I saw him out here practicing, him and his mom. His mom is on the bag. She's been on the bag all weekend. She is loaded down. And I said, what are you doing with all that? And he said, she won't let me carry anything except for my stool. So he's walking around without a care in the world. She's got extra dish, she's got extra towels. She is ready to go, and she is amped up. Also see Raven Newsom. He is out here. He's saying that he's ready to go. He's going to be the young gun on the card. He is just 22 years old. He's also just about the same age as Gavin. We're going to see how he performs on the big stage. And last but not least, Iowa's own Ben Calloway. I asked Ben what's going on. He said, hey guys, I'm not just hanging around for this tournament. I am the defending champion here at the Des Moines Challenge. He's from Iowa. We've seen how good he is. He's only one stroke off the pace right now. And he said, you guys better recognize and respect that he is in fact the champion here. So he's not going to go down without a fight. Of course, he's got big contenders here on the lead card and beyond. Back to you guys in the booth.
Man, what a fantastic card breakdown from Terry, and them's fighting words from Callaway. I like it.
Well, first of all, I don't know who Ben's listening to, because I don't think we've had Ben in this thing to win it from the get-go. I mean, he's the pride of Iowa, and, I mean, he has proved it. And in fact, in my opinion, I've been impressed with his ability to not give up. In this scenario, with all the pressure and all the weight of playing in Iowa, being the defending champion, it would have been easy to just sort of fold it up, finish in the mid-teens. He hasn't done that. And, I mean, Ben, with his experience here, the way he played hole number 10, using course knowledge, getting the eagle earlier today, look, Ben Callaway could easily win.
I absolutely agree. And with that check, maybe pick up some of this great pottery we got on site. I
hope my wife doesn't see that. She's going to go buy one of those.
The thing for Ben that I don't know, I don't know if this is true at all, but being from Iowa, he's kind of had a breakout year this year. He's not a young player, but he's been able to commit more time to the big-time tour.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is maybe a first time that his family, his wife, his child are there in attendance to watch him play, because that can be a real shot in the arm, I think.
And this is an Albert Tam problem, throwing long.
I've been warning you guys about that all week.
Yeah.
That can be done. The players haven't shown us yet, but there it is. You straighten that thing up, keep it a little low, that OB is waiting for you.
Austin Hannum.
Yeah, boy, and really the big issue we've seen so far is actually coming up short. So Tam, the first guy we've seen really push it out there. That's sort of your common landing zone there.
Yep.
Middle of the fairway, maybe just a little short.
Yes, anywhere past those trees is see some great shots out there. Calvin Heimberg. That was early from Heimberg, and he kind of gets the green flag. Those trees are really nice.
Well, when the first guy on the tee throws it long OB, I'm not surprised to see a bunch of guys going close to the left side OB.
Clemens goes to the forehand.
This looks great. Again, a little bit short, but he'll have an advantage because he's left-handed. He can go full backhand into this green.
Great point. And a flashback to the bazooka, where the man got his nickname.
This is Nokia, the European Open 2019 Albert Tam's coming out party on the major stage. This is lead card action, and that is him loading one up and firing from deep. He's made a lot of different celebrations. I've seen an arrow.
Really?
I've seen an arrow themed one. I've seen throw the grenade and plug the ears. He's got a lot of them ready. I just hope he can get the putter hot so we can see him.
Sign me up. Albert Tam is now at the drop zone.
boy.
which is the women's tee, it appears.
Correct.
What a drop zone. This takes saving par completely out of the equation. And he is now in the landing zone of a normal good tee shot. So it's a nice shot, but wow, he's left well back.
That is punishing.
Wow,
Throwing his fourth shot.
I did not realize, looking at the hole map, going out of bounds on this hole is a terrible mistake because he advanced, I'm going to guess, 30 feet.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
From where he originally teed off. Terrible, punishing drop zone.
Ben Callaway getting ready. Maybe Ben just taking a page out of Paul's book and just looking for a chip wherever he can find it.
Well, well, they're all getting final instructions from this phenomenal team here at the Des Moines Challenge. Can't say enough. You see Jeff Spring in the background there. He's been, along with Brian Cole, the whole support staff. When you go through a weekend like this, it takes a great staff to get through it, and they've done a great job.
Yeah, being a TD is a hard enough job when the weather plays along. And has done anything but this weekend. Looking at Chris Clemens throwing 2.
And even though Clemens a little bit back here, as I mentioned, advantage. He is left-handed, so he can really take advantage of, you know, his backhand ability here. A lot of power.
Looking for a swing up the hill, and he is not going to get it. That's going to be a long birdie bid coming for Chris. But when he gets that jumper dialed, it gets near automatic. I've seen those days from him. Austin Hannum going to the forehand.
Yeah, perfect spot for his flex forehand here. See if he can get it just a touch higher than Chris did. Give it some time to work back, and I think he's done that. Don't do a roll.
Okay.
Nice.
Iowa grass making that disc nestle nicely. He's got a birdie putt coming up. Looks like Calvin Heimberg will be next with the second shots.
And you can see Calvin. This is just, in an ideal world, he would be able to throw a sidearm, but he's got to go to the backhand. Now, he still can do it. He's just got to bring the trees in on the right into play here. Yes, he's done it beautifully.
Wow.
Beating that last tree. Fantastic.
Wonderfully executed by Calvin. Next up is going to be Albert, and he just needs an up and down now to save bogey after that OB drive.
Yeah, I mean, he's in good position. He did throw a good third shot, but, I mean, Sexton brought it up. What a brutal, I mean, to throw a 400-foot shot OB and then to advance 30 feet.
I mean, I would say the worst OB on the course. The worst,
After
the
seeing
most
this?
punishing OB you could possibly find on this course. And I wouldn't have thought that. You know, you think, oh, island holes, those are going to be worse. This is worse because he threw a great shot.
It's stroke and distance, basically.
Yeah, he threw a great shot to get to here.
So
and he still got work.
Needs to throw another great one to try to save bogey. Very
Solid.
makeable putt. And we are going to take a quick break, but on the other side, you'll be watching these guys tee off.
Women are being featured in the magazine.
The women are out there, the pro women, so then it kind of motivates a lot of us amateurs to like go out there and not be afraid.
I would love to see more tournaments like this in the future for women's disc golf.
I want to see more women filling spots in a tournament than men. That'd be something to brag about.
Disc golf's legit and we're here to stay and we're gonna make names for ourselves.
Say yes to disc golf!
Most people just see a disc. At Discraft, we see over 40 years of innovation, driven by passion, consistency that inspires talent, built on a foundation designed for success. Over 4 decades of experience behind your first throw.
And back to the action, and Ezra Aderhold is having a day, but the question for him is, are there enough holes left?
Well, the simple answer to that is no, but that's to win. To set a course record, to do something great, absolutely. There's plenty of holes left.
I like that.
So, yeah, we're going to be keeping an eye on Ezra all day long.
Clemens, jumper not dialed quite yet. He will take a par.
So, as you would expect, higher hole, right? This tee is, or the tee for 1 right by the basket of 2. So, lead card deciding to allow these guys to complete their hole, which is really good etiquette by them. Avoid the cheers. They're going to be yelling their names. Let these guys play hole 2, move on to hole 3, and then we'll get going here in just a moment.
Austin Hannum looking for a birdie. Had an opportunity on 1, but could not convert. Austin makes good.
It's a huge putt for Tam.
Yeah.
With all the conversation about his putting, he
Cannot,
has to make these.
Can't afford a double. Could barely afford a bogey. Converts the save. Well,
Really
best case
solid.
scenario after the OB.
Yeah. Yeah, basically a birdie.
Yeah.
I mean, from the drop zone.
That is an actual birdie for Calvin Heimberg. Trying to make his way up the board. We'll see if he can do it. Clemens, par save. And that should kick off our leaders.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the lead card. First on the pad, out of Huntington Beach, California, representing Team Discraft. Please give a warm Iowa welcome to Paul McBeth.
How many warm insert your state here welcomes has this man enjoyed in a storied career?
McBeth on the box of 1.
I'm going to say 33.
At least.
It's a pretty good guess.
He gets about 3 per week. He gets about 3 every weekend on average. So, yeah, I mean, so many lead cards. It's incredible to think how many people have come out specifically to watch him, to see the stuff he can do. It's amazing.
Gavin's still getting used to this. This is Paul's normal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gavin off the tee.
A very Will Shoestrick style.
That was an MTA throw. That was up there for a while.
Yeah, he's going to have that great angle.
Next on the pad, out of Davenport, Iowa, he is the defending Des Moines Challenge champion, representing Team Discraft, Ben Calloway.
Ben Calloway. Getting that hometown love, rightfully so. Reaching for that trusty blue nuke of his.
Talk about easy power. You're going to see it out of this guy.
That is going places.
Great shot.
Back down there in Vinny Albert land.
Yeah, I think, you know, Ben throws big. Obviously, McBeth throws big. But Gavin, give this guy his due. World's distance contest, 680 feet. Just a couple of weeks ago. Taking second place to Garrett Gerthy by a mere 6 feet. So this guy crushes it.
No joke. Raven Newsom. trees. And on the fairway. Have you guys seen Raven putt yet?
Hey, man, I told you, I've been at the putt night with him many
Okay.
times.
He jams those
yeah,
things.
you got to watch out for that kid. Sometimes I had to take a second lap to make sure I got the victory. He was that kind of player. You couldn't. Sometimes I couldn't leave putt night. I had to pay $5 more to get another try. He's deadly.
And this guy deadly after Worlds.
Yeah, so since 2012, when the Paul McBeth era officially started and the Nate Doss era ended, he's dominant, not only in Worlds, but also the weekend after. From 2014 on, he has not lost a tournament after the Worlds. It's impressive statistic. I mean, he has so many impressive statistics.
Every single one of those
This is like one of the most impressive.
Yeah.
Because this is over such a long period of time. You know, Hamburg, and it's so many different tournaments. Hamburg, Ledgestone, Estonian, Delaware, MVP, and now Des Moines Challenge. Wow.
Yeah, and I think the takeaway is that he took first or second at all of those world championships too, which are held all over the country at all kinds of styles of courses. And Paul McBeth is an intentional professional. He doesn't peak in May. He peaks at the world championships on purpose. So by resting, by targeting his practice, by his workout schedule, his nutrition, all that stuff is calculated. And it's not like, oh, no, weird, he's playing good at the Worlds, because that's the Super Bowl, right? I mean, that's when he's ready. And that doesn't last just 1 week. So it's incredible, but it isn't surprising to me with all the time I've spent with him.
That's a great pickup, Nate.
That he is just dominating in the time around Worlds. Doesn't matter if Worlds is in September or June or July, whenever it is, Paul McBeth will be there, and he'll be at the top of his game.
Raven Newsom, I think he's at the top of his game for his second shot on hole 1.
This is really a long way, I think, because I think he got around the tree, but he didn't make a whole lot of forward progress. So he's going to have to hammer this. And I'm a little worried. Oh, it is drifting. This could be really good. That's still pretty good. That was a great left drift at the top of the flight. That's an easy place to miss your angle a little bit, saw it off, and go OB right.
And that's a man that does not mind a jump putt either.
He knows he's a great putter. That's like that's his thing.
And he looks to be just outside the circle. Prime territory for that man. You're looking at Paul McBeth throwing 2. Your current leader by a stroke. Dueling circles edge putts for Newsom and McBeth coming up. And they're going to advance even farther to get to Gavin's drive. He really put that thing down there. Oh, not even yet. We got Ben Calloway up next.
Yeah, the difference is Gavin went aggressive over the OB. Most of these guys are playing well left of the pin, or left of the OB line. Gavin down, towards those white flags down there. So impressive, sort of gutsy play here on number 1.
Ben, he has a buzz in his hands. Let's see if he changes it out. Yes, he does. So I was thinking backhand, which has been his play all week, but it's going to switch it up and go with the forehand play. The shape is there. That is wide, though. Bankley nestles inbounds. Should work for an up and down par, worst case. Take another look at Gavin Rathbun smashing this thing up the fairway.
Again, elite arm speed. I mean, quick who's who of guys that he defeated in that world distance. Aderhold, Gilbert Barella, Tristan Tanner, Albert Tom, Ben Calloway, bombers, all of them.
And a wonderfully executed shot by Gavin.
That was perfect.
Putting a little pressure on Paul early, or trying to.
Succeeding, definitely.
Mama Rathbun on the bag is for the win early.
You got to think that's a big aspect here for Rathbun. I mean, to have the support like that. And here's the scorecard of your current world champion. We saw James earlier on day 1, round 1. Played pretty well. And now he's coming out today and playing extremely well. Also, just at the moment, 2 shots behind Paul McBeth.
How about that?
The back-to-back birdies on 7 and 8. That's the island hole uphill through the gap and the 540-foot downhill. That's a rare back-to-back.
Oh. So Ben Callaway approaching his 3rd shot. Somewhere around circle 2, possibly outside. Yeah, he is outside all the circles.
Woo-hoo, nice effort.
Fantastic run.
Little Barsby style bid there. Little nose up floater. Stalls out not too far past the basket.
I'm going to show respect to a world champion here from Des Moines. That was a Barry Schultz type run. Barry invented the long distance nose up run. He's so good at it. Of course, Barry winning his 2nd world title here in Des Moines back in 2004.
Raven Newsom outside the circle for birdie. Dead center. That's him. You're going to see a lot of great putts from that guy today. Rolling back that Zuka replay of a beautiful putt.
Definitely a player who is excited to putt. And that's the headspace you want to, all you at home. If you can convince yourself that you can get excited to putt, you're not afraid of what could happen. You're excited to make something happen. That's Raven.
Paul McBeth for birdie. That has been where Paul has looked shaky when he has looked shaky,
well,
which isn't often.
Look, all season long.
Yeah.
Minus the 18 holes we just saw a few Saturdays ago. His putting hasn't been great. We talked a lot about it as we headed into that final round, and he proved us wrong. But I think the important thing to remember here is that this course is really a tee to green type course. It's not going to come down to his C2 putting percentage. It's going to come down to his driving and upshot percentages, putting himself inside circle 1, which Paul has putted well inside circle 1 through 2 rounds.
Gavin starts his day with a birdie high but in, and we have co-leaders after 1.
The place to see it borne out statistically is the strokes gained stat. Paul McBeth, 15.16 tee to green, just 1.03 putting, so barely above field average in putting.
And you mentioned Barry Schultz. We might as well show a little footy.
Yeah, this was, well, we saw Nathan Sexton working his magic here on this final 9 course, and this is Birgitta Lagerholm, the only European world champion of all time. I was standing about 50 feet away at this point. Birgitta, what a fantastic victory for her. And this guy, Barry Schultz. If you at home, all you new fans, have not heard of the name Barry Schultz, well, shame on you, because Barry is and will always be one of the greatest of all time, winning his 2nd world title in a row. Incredible, very dominant on tour, and really for a long time one of the only players willing to go toe-to-toe with Ken Climo.
We filmed him in a couple Tim Slinsky's and Masters Worlds on Central Coast Disc Golf if you'd like to go see some decent footage, or recent footage of Barry, and he is still a baller.
Absolutely.
100%. On to the tee of 2 go our leaders. Gavin Rathbun up first.
I mentioned Paul McBeth just above field average in putting. The man leading the field, Gavin Rathbun. Best putting statistics of the tournament thus far.
He talked about that in his interview. He said he was hitting a lot of putts. He threw a great drive here.
And really, most of the time, when you look at players that are in the world rankings between 25 and 50, they're usually pretty good from tee to green. And most of the time, it does come down to those putting statistics. And really, for Gavin to be putting as well as he is, being number 1 in the field, that is the reason he's in this position. He cannot get nervous at this point. He's got to be like Raven and be confident in that putting. Nice shot from Raven.
A little farther right than he had hoped, but well thrown in the fairway safely. McBeth on the tee of 2.
He doesn't like it.
He did this yesterday.
It looks okay, though.
Yeah, it is okay, I think. I really think it is okay.
Did you just want it farther up the fairway, you think?
He must be looking for a little bit more juice, get way up around the corner, but I still think birdie's absolutely in play for him from there.
Nuke from Callaway.
That was a very similar position where we saw Calvin Heimberg get his birdie. So clearly in the field for Paul. Ben, just one of the smoothest throwers. So impressive. Nice shot.
Well thrown disc right there. We're going to check out a Raven Newsom reaction.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Raven didn't think that he could get over or if he thought it was going OB long.
I got to think OB long. That has a lot of width and it's pretty flat. And I guarantee you the players.
Watch this.
Yeah.
Not sure if he missed it the first 2 rounds. That's a beautiful reaction to a great shot.
And popping over to Calvin Heimberg, putting for birdie on hole 4. This is a great drive.
Yeah. On the short side of the landing zone here, closer to the water. And yes, it is a make for Calvin Heimberg. Nice birdie for Calvin. He's played 4 holes and birdied 2 of them.
Okay, he's at 15 now, so just 2 out the lead. Very much in this. God, this top 10 is tight. It's the new norm.
Let's go, new normal.
Yeah. I love it.
And not only just the new normal, but look at the names. I mean, it's a slew of new names. And I love that. Raven, Ezra, Gavin.
Even Adam.
Adam Hammis.
Yeah. Catching it all live on the Disc Golf Network. Looks like Raven Newsom is about ready to get going with his second shot up. Doing some bushnelling first. World champion Sarah Hookham.
I was going to say, I saw Sarah with Raven earlier, and that team MVP is coming together. I mean, nothing like having a world champion in your pocket.
Yeah, they played the world doubles together. I've seen them practice together.
Yeah, they're kind of
they're
travel
teammates.
buddies this year too.
Definitely. If you need some advice on forehands, Sarah's a good place to go.
Or the tour life, Oh, and Raven.
Whoa. Disc choice, the problem, I think, there, because that thing did not have any interest in going to the right, and it's not windy. So a little bit of a misplay. That looked like it went deep into the woods, too.
Yes, it did. We are swinging over to Calvin Heimberg on 5. Pull a Zacharias.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, my goodness. I did not expect that to be short, but he's in bounds. We saw that from Paul McBeth, too. We're thinking, is this an ace? And then it's nearly in the water.
It's deceiving with not a ton of reference points in between. We'll blame it on that anyway. Clemens.
Yeah, Clementine's played 4 holes and parred one of them.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
beautiful.
One of them, excuse me.
He's going to birdie that one, too. He was parked. McBeth throwing 2 on 2.
I think a better angle than Paul expected. Able to go to the back or the sidearm and right inside circle 1. Beautiful.
Pin high perfectly. Gavin Rathbun.
Yeah, Rathbun going to the backhand. I mean, this is a gutsy play.
Is it going to nestle in time?
No.
Not quite.
I'm surprised to see him do that. From that position, a nice sidearm is the prescribed throw.
Yeah, and while we were watching Calvin, Ben threw this, his second on 2 as well.
The problem with going backhand here is the green does slope away, but your champion from 2020, I mean, he knows how to play it. He put it out higher on the hill, able to handle the speed. He'll have an uphill birdie putt.
Yeah, you really got to test that OB out there if you want to get close.
Yeah, I'm just surprised from Rathbun. I mean, he has the sidearm. Either way, we'll see if he gets a little fortunate on the edge of the woods there. He might have a look. It's hard to tell.
Albert Tom on 5.
Oh.
Hits the cage. Oh, my goodness.
That's Albert for you, man. Throw that thing about 25%, and he's going, get down, get down.
That's the number I almost said, too.
And it's still hitting off the cage. Incredible, smooth power.
Hannum.
He just saw the line.
A little long left.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing, too.
Still a makeable putt.
I feel like, we're watching the best players in the world, but they have been playing fantastic on that island hole. I feel like everybody is hitting that thing.
Sarah helping Raven find his disc.
He might need help. That thing had speed. It was still turning. It was so high. We haven't seen very many people go truly deep into this rough yet.
Yeah, more trickling.
Yeah, and that's manageable, but I'm not so sure 20 feet in there is manageable.
We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah, this is sort of a theme here at Pickard Park. We have 2 types of roughs. One of them is marked OB. The other is what you're looking at. And if you go in 10 feet, I mean, good luck. If you're at the edge, not so bad. But, I mean, 10 feet in, it's a wall.
It gets thick quick.
It's dark in there.
Raven says it's getting dark in there.
It is 4:45 in the afternoon here on Sunday. Local time.
Going in. See you later. Thank you.
I love his attitude.
He seems in good spirits, but I'm not optimistic about how easy this shot is about to be.
I'm not either. He says, I'm going in. Well, hopefully we see a disc coming out of there. This could go either way.
The one thing he can't do is not get out. He needs to be in short grass, regardless if he's in the circle, out of the circle. Cannot leave yourself in there. Wait for it. This is exactly. I was wondering.
Yeah, I
was wondering if he even got to it yet.
Yeah.
So he's to it. He's throwing.
Fantastic. Yes. He almost made that.
I heard a tree. Did you guys hear a tree hit?
There's some stuff happening in there.
Yeah. That was well thrown, though.
That was like, yeah, they just said you almost made it. Really? that wasn't more than like 2 or 3 feet from the chains at perfect height.
I'm with you. Gavin says, come to the sound of my voice. Oh, yeah. There's Raven.
Whenever you can make Paul smile,
You've done something
You've
cool.
done good work.
So this is more we've been seeing from our competitors, just kind of trickling in and trying to manufacture a putt. It's going to be awkward, though. He is outside, right?
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
And Gavin converts.
Are you kidding me?
Roll back that Zuka replay from a hobbit hole.
All wrist. All wrist. Wow. Impressive.
And can Paul keep pace? You know he can.
I mean, I promise you, Gavin was just trying to put it on line. He was just trying to give it enough speed on line. Luckily for him, it was all uphill, so he had the backstop behind it. But a nice birdie there from McBeth, and can Callaway keep pace?
Yeah, maintain just a one-stroke deficit to the co-leaders. Ben makes good. Solid birdie from Callaway. He'll sit just one back, and Raven with a solo par on this one. Well played by our leaders. This one's been tough throughout the week. Middle of the pack difficulty. All right. And what an incredible par save for Raven. Looking back at something.
Getting away with one there.
That's the statement for it.
He's got to take advantage of that. All right, well, there's Ezra Aderhold. He has played 10 holes. He is on the 6th card, but 7 under through 10.
And currently 10 people, at least 10 people within 3 strokes. There's a couple more 15s on the board, I think.
Gannon Burr down there popping onto our top 10 leaderboard. Gannon, we saw play in the opening round. Sticking with it.
Bradley Williams also tied at 15 down.
Ulibarri as well. Currently 12 players, 15 or better.
Oh, nice. Calvin Heimberg on hole 6.
This is that right sweeping par 4. This might be in danger.
We saw a couple OB drives on this one yesterday. Silas and McBeth, I want to say.
Oh, it's not. It's just it's tight.
Wait.
No OB there. He's just going to be in that natural.
But he's one inlet short of the basket?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Calvin, this is the MO for Calvin. He gets aggressive on final rounds.
Even cute dogs love disc golf. I know my dogs do. Gavin on the tee of 3. Totally blind shot here.
I think this looks good.
Playing downhill. Sidearm the preferred route. Got to sit.
Sit down.
It doesn't
right now.
deserve
there
any
it
of these
There
feet.
it is. Great shot.
McBeth would not mind biting off that line. I think this is his Yuli Raptor.
That was just a couple of years from having McBeth throw disc with my name on him. That would have been nice.
Little short,
but
getting better.
A forward roll.
Oh, even rolling the right way.
Great shot.
World champion all over that roll. And there's a wry smile from Paul back there. Ben Callaway.
Callaway going to this sidearm. Looks a little speedy. Not so bad.
It's a good spot. There's a nice log there. Keep him from getting too far into the woods.
And Raven Newsom. Raven flexing the forehand. No trickle for Raven. He will have a circle 2 circle's edge putt coming up, it looks like.
Yeah, just look how much better they're playing these holes on day 3. I just think this is a hole where you just don't quite get it figured out that quick.
And we have our patented forehand moment from Paul. Did he buy the patent from Avery Jenkins, your brother-in-law there?
Yeah, I think we could talk to Sunstein about that, because if you have the intellectual property but you don't patent it, I think it's still possibly yours. So we need to talk to Sunstein about that.
Well, they are a proud sponsor of disc golf, and they help protect its clients' ideas and important brands through patent and trademark registration and litigation services. I will be giving their number to Avery after the broadcast.
Yes.
And we'll see what they can do. If you guys are not familiar with our mildly inside joke, Avery Jenkins invented the forehand swing that Paul does every time. So Calvin Heimberg on 6.
And this is really tough. Set up a 50-60 footer. That's about the best he could hope for.
Agreed. You are getting a live look at Raven Newsom, who I believe is just outside the circle.
I think so.
I wonder if we'll see a stepper.
Downhill doesn't need it.
Converts.
Great putt.
Raven Newsom making good. And he is hanging on this lead card. Getting going with a birdie on 2, 3. Ben Calloway up next with the birdie bids. Or sorry.
Looks like it's conversation.
Yeah, they're switching it up.
Gavin's going to take it.
I think Gavin going first.
Or is he?
Or is it Ben?
Ben moving that log.
That's the eternal question in disc golf. Who is out?
Behind his lie, so he can definitely move that out of his stance. I think he's got a stab at this.
Yeah. It's not that much distance. It's just that one branch. Can he get a full extension on his arm? Yep, he just went for a little stab.
Yep.
That's all he could do.
A little frustration there from Ben. That's totally understandable. Where does disc go? Oh, not too bad. Gavin needs this to keep pace.
Well, and this to start 3 for 3.
The putt looks easy for him right now. And what is that now? I mean, he made 13 birdies in round 2. He's got 3 more now. That's 16 out of the last 21. That's golfing.
Ben Calloway saves par. Paul McBeth will drop in a birdie and maintain his share of the lead with Gavin. They are battling. While they walk to 4, we're going to watch Calvin Heimberg putting for birdie on hole 6. And he misses that right. We will be right back with some drives from our leaders on hole 4.
PA3? Hey Chris, can I get a PA3? Yes, sir. M4?
We need it here.
And our lead card needs some good energy, and they've been feeling it so far, Nate. Thanks to our friends at Hand-Eye Supply. Looking at Gavin Rathbun, this looks. Oh.
This is the safer play. Yeah, great shot from Gavin. And that's the shot we've really been wanting our players to throw.
Exactly.
You know, what are the odds to land in that 12-foot section between the pin and the water, or that 33-foot section back and long? Great shot there from Gavin.
And we saw this man come up short yesterday, Nate.
Exactly. Which we were so surprised of.
Yeah.
With quite a bit of real estate beyond. It's about 45 feet beyond the pin of safe area.
And it's not like power is any kind of problem for this man.
God, I would expect him to just make an adjustment.
Ace it?
Yes. And that's why we saw him go short, because he's trying to play that softer shot right at the pin. Makes the adjustment, and it's a park job.
What a shot by the 5-time.
Amazing.
Raven looking to carry the water on 4.
This hole's 490.
Layup play from Raven.
Well, you got to know your game. I think it's if you're not 100% confident, it's just one hole, right? It's just one par.
Plan your throws and throw your plan.
Exactly.
Ben Calloway. You know this man is attacking this. It's going to be left.
Got to miss that tree. She's done nicely. Oh, no. I saw it come back. I could have swore he had beaten it, and that is OB for Ben Calloway.
Oh,
well, not great energy there, but earlier today, fantastic energy from Missy Gannon. I was sitting just off camera here, watched the entire thing. This was a 25-footer.
To win the tournament.
To win the tournament. Paige Pierce, her very close friend, getting it on camera. Amazing.
And shouts to Jessica Weiss for making that a great battle. She birdied the last hole to force Missy to make that putt. It was so exciting.
At that point, nobody had birdied 18. Jessica Weiss parked it for birdie to put the pressure on Missy, who did come up with that 25-footer. And I'm telling you, I mean, look at this run of winners.
3 years ago, this was like 2 names on here.
Yeah, I mean, this is this season, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Haley King is here. Kona Panis is here. Missy Gannon is here. Heather Young. There's a lot of great players. Lisa as well. There's so many that are in contention when they play their best game, and that's all you can ask for. It's like, obviously, Paige and Kat are the class of the field, and that may remain for, you know, nothing lasts forever in sports, but that may remain for a few more years. But more players they're in the hunt when they play their game.
Yeah, there's enough good players that one of them is going to get hot and really threaten Paige and Kat for that win. Ben Calloway throwing from the drop zone, unfortunately.
I could have swore he had beaten that last tree. It's just behind the pin from this view, but he just caught it, squared it up, and it kicked back into the water. So
brutal luck.
Yeah, just a little bit of misfortune there for Ben.
And Raven said, I want no part of trying to park this hole. I'm going to play it for par. Kind of a sketchy spot, though. Low ceiling, OB on the right.
Kind of question why he's not going to a backhand.
Yeah. Nice airspace out there over the water. At least the trees don't grow in the water. That's one nice thing.
He doesn't need our advice. That was beautiful.
Nice.
A little long, but
nice.
When you're Raven Newsom, you smash putts like that all day long.
Yes, you do. Calvin Heiberg, a man known for smashing putts, is on 7, island hole.
Stay up.
Skip over. From the hazard, let's see if he can save par. Wow. What an incredible par save from Calvin. Ho-hum picking up the par. Gavin needs this to maintain a share of the lead. McBeth is parked. Oh. First miss of the day for that man. First par of the day, even. Left it just a little bit short. Water in the brain a little bit, you know. I don't know.
There's a lot of factors on that one. It wasn't a gimme by any means, but also a one that if you're going to win against Paul,
better
you gotta
make it. Raven must make for him. This is for par.
And also, if you're going to shoot well at Pickard, I mean, you got to make putts inside circle 1.
Raven sinks it over and saves par. And half the time, if you're in circle 2, you're in some bush and you don't actually have a putt.
Right.
Yeah. Callaway, this is to be saving bogey. And that one hurts. A 2-stroke swing in the wrong direction as McBeth will grab a birdie. Gavin saves par, but that will lose a stroke. And your outright leader, Paul McBeth. And we'll get a quick replay of that Paul McBeth drive. It was a beaut.
Yep, we saw it yesterday, Sexton. He went short today, making the adjustment. Absolute park job.
That's what you need. And for Gavin, the first miss from circle 1. Now 20 of 21 for the weekend. So
on to hole 5. Talk about the challenges here, Nate.
yeah, this is an island hole. It's about 330 feet, slightly downhill. You've got some room into those trees before you get to the painted line. We've seen a few players go in there and not be out of bounds, but you can see how close it is on that left side.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple options, obviously. Straight shot, hyzer backhand, or hyzer forehand. The thing I keep thinking about with the hyzer backhand is this one bush, though I haven't seen anybody actually hit it yet. So maybe somehow it's not in the way. It looks like it might be possible to get denied by that.
It's like one of those 90% air trees.
Yeah, or they're just coming in a little higher, I think, in general.
Gotcha.
They're coming in over the top of that.
McBeth earned the box. That's a zone in his hands. Overstable approach disc. You ever bag a zone, Nate? You never did you?
Nope. Had to leave something for the great one.
That was so kind of you.
Well, we're good friends.
It's true.
I don't know if this has the legs. Of course it does. Of course it does. That looked slow
It
to
did.
me.
It
I was
did.
a bit nervous, especially because last time we saw him throw this hole, I thought it looked great, and then it was very short.
Very. Just barely across the water. Gavin needs a good one here to keep pace with Paul and stay just one back.
Whoa, Nelly, watch out.
Missed stuff.
Yes.
Love it. Well executed by Gavin.
Gavin was holding his breath on that one, a little wide, but able to bring it in late.
It could be that bush is like a hologram. The DGPT
That's what I'm saying.
budget has been going up. So, you know, holographic trees may be somewhere we could go. Scare the player, but you really need to put in the practice to know which ones are totally fake.
It's definitely faster than growing a tree.
Yeah.
Raven, the forehand play. That's a lot of flex on that thing. I love the optimism from our crowd.
Can you tell what they want? There's been a few people sitting out here all day long, and they already saw a hole-in-one. They want to see another one.
Sarah Gilpin still there? Maybe she'll see 2.
They don't get old, do they?
Never.
I'd happily watch 100 in a row.
Ben Callaway on the tee.
And just going for the good old park job.
Right through the hologram. Just no problem.
Yep.
Great shot from Ben,
And the
coming back from the misfortune going OB. The crowd loving it.
Hometown crowd absolutely going crazy. And these are your hot rounds today. James, 8 through 11?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Aaron Gossage already in the clubhouse with a 7 under par, as well as Harper Thompson and Tall Paul Oman.
Kevin Jones up there. Nico LaCastro What? Nico was like 8 down at some point earlier on the round. Calvin Heimberg on the tee of 8.
The longest par 3 on the course. Calvin has been within circle 1 the first 2 rounds. Got to watch out.
Hopefully that nestled. There is OB long, which we saw Paige find.
Wow, nice.
Calvin does not find it, though. He is safe.
Great effort from the spotter.
Calvin's got to love that hole. It's like, oh, you designed a hole just for me. Thank you. Our leaders approaching some birdie putts. Everybody on the island safely, thankfully. McBeth up first. And Paul kicking off a very likely star frame for our leaders. So Paul, worst case, will have a 1-stroke lead as he heads into 6. Raven putting for birdie. So put him into a tie for 4th. And the man makes good. Gavin. To shrink that gap back down to 1. Casual birdie. And Callaway. Absolute dropper.
And after a bogey, steps up on the island and parks it. Of course, Ben Callaway, the pride of Iowa, the current pride of Iowa. There's been a lot over the years. But Ben is a great guy. As you said, Nate Sexton putting in a lot of effort here in this season and giving a nod to all the great fans here in Des Moines.
And speaking of Iowa being awesome, that's just...
It's really not surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, back in 2003, my first tour, I was driving down Interstate 80, and I saw a disc golf course. We pulled over, played it, and we were in Iowa. That's Iowa in a nutshell, man. There's courses everywhere. People have bought into disc golf here in this state, and it's a phenomenal place to play disc golf.
We were looking at these statistics after we saw this. Roughly a course for every 10,000 people in Iowa. We checked out Nate Doss's home state of California, 97,000 people per course. So it's a little easier to get a tee time in Iowa, I think.
And
Seriously.
a big shout out to the country of Finland.
Yes.
7,750 people per course in the entire country. That's impressive.
Nobody does it better.
Yeah, and
Nobody puts in courses faster than those Finns.
It's a similar population as the state of Iowa.
Yeah.
Is Finland.
Five and change million.
I mean, if you're looking for a European vacation, you're a disc golfer. Head north.
And then there's San Diego. 1 course for 1 million people. Paul McBeth on the tee of 6.
We saw him go directly out of bounds last time.
This is
This time
much
he got a
better.
little more turn. Big carry, and he's going to have a great angle. Like, I think he's going to have a simple forehand into the green from there.
I felt like he threw it almost as far as Calvin, just in a much better location.
That's the beauty of this design. The farther you want to push it into that perfect spot, the more you bring the out of bounds into play. You try to get safe, you end up where Calvin was, and you got nothing.
Yeah.
I really like the risk-reward element of this tee shot.
Gavin Rathbun. Is that going to fade? Not quite in time, it won't.
Yeah, that's not good.
This little run of holes between hole number 6 and hole number 10, this is going to be Gavin Rathbun's tournament. He has to keep pace with Paul because as you get into the back 9, it can turn into a little bit more of a match play type scenario. And he's just got to play these holes. He's got to keep pace. He can't lose much here over these next 4 or 5 holes.
Raven Newsom. That's going to carry into the woods as well, I think. Yes. We saw it fight back out a little bit, though. Silver lining to that shot. They are having a great time, though. Callaway.
I think what Nate said is so true, that maintaining contact with Paul McBeth is so critical. We have seen Paul McBeth over the years go into stroke for stroke battles, and we've seen him come out on top a lot of times, and we've seen him lose. Can you remember a time where he got 3 or 4 stroke lead and then just like
gave it back?
Lost it. No. It's not. That is not how that he's wired.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
So if you let him get away, it's over.
Calvin Heimberg coming back up the hill for his 2. 570-foot drive, no problem. What's that put Calvin at, Nate?
Well, for Calvin Heimberg, that's going to move him to 4 under par.
On the round?
Yeah, there's actually, I'm just going to give it a second here because the UDisc score was a little confused. Okay, now officially it is a birdie. 4 under par through 8 holes. He's to 17 under par. So he'll be in that tie there with Raven and Ben Callaway, along with Adam Hammis. So Calvin just kind of hanging around at this point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what Paul was doing yesterday when we thought Gavin and who else was running away with it?
Yeah, I mean,
Calvin were running away with it.
Again, Pickard, the first 10 holes, right? Because we're going to send out a big thanks to our friends at Bushnell.
I'll give you the distance for Paul McBeth's thoughts. A huge thanks to Bushnell, providing the Bushnell Edge rangefinder for today's coverage and their support of disc golf. Live look at Ben Callaway's second on hole 6.
I love it. Good shot.
It was a good shot. Hopefully that nestled in a nice place and rewards him with a good birdie putt.
That's the right shot. You need to be wide. You need to throw it hard and be wide. Cutting it tight, tempting, but unlikely to work out very well.
So as I was saying, the first 10 holes here are sort of what you see is what you get. They're kind of right in front of you. You can kind of see the landing zones. Once we get to hole 11 through 18 is more of a placement type game. You got to kind of pick your way. You do have to hit some shot in the woods. So it's sort of that back 9 scoring. We've seen a lot of guys on this course shoot 5, 6, 7 under through 10, 6 under through 11, something like that, and then finish even par, finish 1 over, for the last, 7, 8 holes. So you got to put yourself in that position, but just this back 9 is just more difficult. It's different than the front.
Raven has found his disc. We're looking at his second shot, trying to figure out something.
I think he's fortunate here. I think, I don't know if he can get all the way to the basket, but he's got room to swing his arm. If he can get this forehand up in the air, I think a circle 2 putt is certainly possible.
You called it, Nate. That's the circle 2 marker right there.
Boy, barely. I might have got that wrong by 6 inches.
We'll give it to you. Close enough. Horseshoes, hand grenades, and putt calls.
Calling circles.
Calling circles. Gavin. Let's see what he can manufacture from the rough. Going back to the basket stance.
Just got to be careful to not go long OB.
And he just pitches out. He'll take his par, take his medicine. And a very likely chance He's going to be looking at a 2-stroke deficit after the hole's over.
Yeah, I think McBeth might be so close he can go mid-range. See what he goes to.
228. We might see a putter.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that forehand zone, perhaps. Maybe he needs the sharpness of a driver for a little skip. I think this is a driver.
Yeah,
but it's a pitch. This would be pretty surprising. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. Circle 1. That's my call. Feels like one of the best drive we've seen. Hey.
He still might be circle 1.
Pretty long. Maybe. But that's not a great shot.
No. Into
he'll be
stuff.
Disappointed to be there, I think.
Well, and I think Paul went for the lower route. I mean, he could have gone the high sort of stall, but he went that low route and actually hit the hard pan. And all that speed just carried him past the pin there. It'll all come down to the lie, right? Can he stretch out and find a look?
Yeah, it's just hard to throw a stall from 228.
It
you
is.
just start to get in a little too tight. You can't really flatten it up naturally. You could throw a flex, but this doesn't call for a flex because you really need movement right.
That was Gavin pitching up for par. Calvin Heiberg. Hole 9.
Oh, yeah.
That's a birdie for Calvin. And he did go on to make that birdie, shockingly. Raven Newsom from just outside circle 2. Call it a 67-foot putt. 66. Somewhere in there.
He likes it. Oh, man.
Thank you.
Thought he had that one. And a great sport about it. Find the band on that one? That's what it
Yes,
sounded like.
I think so. That looked so perfect.
I didn't think I could miss high.
From distance, too.
How can I miss high from 67 feet, he says. Well, because you're a good putter. You got speed. All right. Callaway, McBeth, they're back in the woods here. Boy, Callaway's pretty open.
Yeah. A chance here for him to get a stroke on the leaders, you know. Paul's in kind of a tough spot for birdie. And Gavin already pitched up for par. Callaway converts, and he's within 3 of the lead. For the time being, anyway, Paul's going to try to have something to say about that.
Yeah, Paul's got work to do.
It looks not awesome.
Looking to go through that little hole. Maybe not.
Beth makes good on the birdie. Such a Paul thing to do.
Well, and I think post-round interview, he knows he stole one there. I mean, a little bit unlucky to go long into that bush, but that was a 50-50 look for Paul and able to make it.
Thanks to our friends at Zuka for rolling back that replay, and Gavin will lose a stroke to Paul. He is sitting 2 back. And all of a sudden, Paul has a little cushion. Raven cleans up par after hitting the band from 67, and I'm told he's got a pretty fun reaction to that. We'll check that out right now.
Well, I mean, it's funny how, I mean, he knew it like right here. He's going, oh, yeah.
Oh. I feel those feels, my friend. And off to Calvin Heimberg on hole 10.
Calvin has played 10 beautifully both days.
And he's off the tee clean.
Nice wide hyzer out there. Plays it down to the low section and chips over for his birdie. That's what he's done the first 2 days. Will he try to go for the eagle? That'll be the big question. Earlier today, Ben Callaway parking number 10 for an eagle.
Your leader, Paul McBeth, up by 2 strokes, throwing on 7 onto the island green. Anything outside the logs is playing as a hazard. Talk to me, Doss. What do you think?
He's asking for it to sit. Yeah, wow. And it goes from inside to outside for Paul. Door open for Gavin Rathbun here.
Absolutely.
Now, again, we just saw Calvin make his par putt from a similar distance, just outside the log there. But, man, for McBeth to bounce from inside to outside.
Callaway did that round 1.
Yeah, a little bit of misfortune of his own.
Hoping he can stay in round 3.
All 3 of these guys have to stick this now.
Yeah, the door is open.
It's leaking. It's leaking.
Catches the log. In
Wow.
a lot of ways, that was the worse shot than Paul's.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the air, it's moving farther left, but that's how the game works with the log like that. He catches it in the air, while Paul was slightly more right and takes the 1 hop into the hazard. That's a big moment.
It's a game of inches.
This is really just a must-get for Rathbun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Whoa,
off the
he
tee.
slips a
Is this going to
little.
hook up in time?
Yes.
How did that
In
get
there
over?
Close.
Did it fly over or skip over?
The guy throws 680. That's how it got over. It doesn't need height.
It buried under the log. It was going so fast.
It blasted right through it probably.
Raven Newsom. Ripping on that forehand. I like the look of this one.
Settle. They did it. All 3 on the green. Can Paul step up and hit a big putt?
The most exciting one by far was this Ben Callaway shot.
Well, and watch his reaction. I mean, he knows from out of his hand that it was no good. See?
Yep.
He sees it right there. It goes from 0 to hero.
You know, this hole did owe him one. He skipped over round 1, kicks back round 3. I kind of like that. You know, all kind of evens out in the world.
The world-famous Pickard Park. And now due to the Disc Golf Pro Tour, the world will know about it even more.
I hope we're back next year.
I do too.
Such an incredible track.
Take it, Sexton.
Yeah, flying right over those VII banners on the 7th. This one is hazard everywhere. You guys know it. If you're not on that little hexagon of bark chips, you're taking a penalty. So we're seeing Paul McBeth skip over, has that circle 2 putt now for par. Everybody else in safely with a look for birdie.
Right. I mean, and a missed putt from Paul. You know, that's the 2-stroke swing that Rathbun really needs to sort of get that connection back to Paul McBeth. So here it is, Paul.
To save par.
Difference from Vinny. This is a side hill putt. A little more difficult.
So clutch.
Paul McBeth just does not miss those putts. When they matter most, the man rises to the occasion. Roll back that Zuka replay, and what a swing.
Well, and that's the little bit of confidence that he needs just around the putting green from circle 2.
And now everyone else in the cart is like, I thought I might get 2 on him.
Well, they all figured they had the easy 1.
You might not even have that now.
And now it could be just a push.
It's a little harder. Callaway to get to 19 and 3 back of Paul. And what you guys just talked about, unfortunately, just happened.
And that's just the ebbs and flows of playing disc golf, right?
You know
think
it
you're
so
going to
well.
get a stroke. Guy steps up, cans one. Your mind starts to think, what do I got to do? And then all of a sudden you miss a putt. Can Gavin avoid that?
Absolute must make, even though it's early.
And that's Paul McBeth putting some pressure on. He misses the island. These guys all stepped up. They had to make the island. Then he makes the putt and says, now you have to make the putt. That's tough.
And Raven the farthest back. So the least amount of pressure, if you will. Thankfully, the closest and does convert. So.
Also the best putter of the three. I was just watching Gavin. I mean, you can see him there.
Yeah.
He just knows the gravity at that moment.
You only get so many chances to chase down Paul McBeth.
He's got to remember that this hole was a push. It doesn't feel like a push.
Oh, gosh,
but you got to convince yourself quick, hey, I thought I was going to gain strokes, but I didn't lose strokes. Back to the next tee pad and keep fighting, because it's deflating, but it doesn't need to be.
That is the way you need to think about it.
And again, uphill, side hill putt. Paul, bang.
The incredible is routine for that guy.
And there is the leaderboard. You can see our card through 7 holes. James Conrad through 13 at 9 under. James continues to play well from hole 7 through hole number 12. He did birdie all of those holes. So the world champion bringing a little bit of the confidence here in the final round. The top 4.
Looking at Raven Newsom on the tee of 8, 540-foot par 3.
Uh-oh.
That is gone.
Spotter. Get a spotter. That spotter is running right now. I guarantee it. There he is right there.
Oh, my goodness.
That could be a lost disc.
McBeth somehow grabbed momentum from the card with a par on the last one.
Well, it just shows you the advantage that a guy like Heinberg or McBeth, they can throw overstable discs down this hill. Yeah. Raven had to go to something a little more flippy, understable. I should use that term, and see if Paul can lock it in. Uh-oh.
Oh, he hates that one too. It's not as bad as Raven's.
It might not be bad at all.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. Somewhere out in circle 2. Well, the man has high expectations, you know. Explains the disappointment. Paul says, that was way too high. Ben Callaway on 8. He parked this one yesterday. Or was that this morning? Yesterday.
He's on it again.
Better.
Wow.
Better even.
That is such a thin line. I mean, he's going just in front of those trees that Paul fought through. It's beautiful.
Gavin Rathbun, opportunity for a stroke on Paul.
Check the speed. Check the speed. A little short, but nice check forward, and that'll be a great putt. Again, door open for Rathbun here on number 8.
To grab a stroke. This is our Birdie Brothers hole, or Boda Brothers hole, excuse me. We had 18 birdies today.
We have 18 so far.
Oh, that's right.
So depending on what we see.
So we got like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
The odds are going to say 20.
Yeah.
Possible 21, possible 19. But again, it was who got that number in first.
But a lot of guesses are probably low because of day one. So you might be able to snipe this one late if you head over there right now.
Yeah.
You know, you never know.
Do it.
Yeah, it's free stuff. It's a sweet board game. Calvin Heimberg's second shot on hole 10. He is going for an eagle.
He is. I just don't know if he's familiar with the airspace up there. We're not going to get a reaction,
we
did get a green
flag.
flag. You know he's not going to react.
Look at this.
Wow. Incredible.
Calvin Heimberg is most likely going to snag an eagle right
This
now.
is to go to 20 under par and within 2 shots of Paul McBeth. Yes, and it's a make for Calvin. There it is, 20 under par.
This is getting spicy, boys. Absolutely love it. We're going to swing over to James Conrad for the first time today.
Well, and when you're a world champion, we send cameras, and world champions do. Oh, man, just a hair off. I was thinking he was going to park it, but
it looked good.
Not so bad there for James. He can make that up the hill.
He sure can. And all of a sudden, we got a tie for second with Calvin Heimberg after that phenomenal eagle.
And I don't know what's going on, if it's the guys just figuring it out or if it's favorable wind. Hole 10, Calvin Heimberg eagle, Albert Tam eagle, Garrett Girthy eagle, Thomas Gilbert eagle, David O'Meara eagle.
Jeez.
So it's ripe for the taking. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of the players on our lead card try to get up in there.
It sounds like word has spread that the big throwers can throw the crashing hyzer.
Yes.
Because those are all big throwers. They must have saw Ben Callaway do it round one. And our camera guy is an absolute hero. He tracked down Raven in the woods.
What's he doing in here?
Someone check that man for ticks after he gets out of there.
Well, I really appreciate the effort from the cameraman because now, for the first time, our fans at home can see what it looks like inside the woods. We've stood outside the woods so many times waiting for the disc to come out. Now, Raven trying to establish, where the pin is. And there's the game plan. Get out to the short grass.
It is a straight-up jungle back there, Nate.
Yeah. I mean,
Raven being a good guy, he said, "Oh, you traveled back here too. Sorry about this," to the camera guy.
He is an absolute gentleman. His parents raised him really well.
Grab my lucky guy.
Always good to go with your lucky guy. I've definitely learned that.
The wedding mini?
Or just if you got a lucky disc, I mean, lucky mini, great. That's with you every time. But if you got a lucky disc, throw it.
Raven is going to try and find a way out of the woods. Good luck, my friend.
This is now the second time that Raven has been buried. Back on number 2.
Almost banged that one, though.
Yeah.
Job done.
Wow.
You see that? You're not going to see it. We'll show you a quick replay. He's got a giant smile on his face, and rightfully so. Back over to James Conrad out in Conrad country. The man is good from here.
It's about 75.
Oh, wow. Flashing chains. Had it on 2 dimensions, just needed that third. Back to our leaders and Paul McBeth.
Now, Paul, right here around
is that
the
a whisker?
edge of circle 2.
Yep.
I think it's a whisker right next to his disc.
The one thing is that it's quick behind the pin.
OB as well, right?
There's OB back there. You got to go pretty far back there to find OB, but you can quickly get into those bushes.
Paul McBeth does not need to make this putt, but he might anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, on 14 at Worlds, he didn't need to go for it either, and he did, and he canned it, proving me wrong.
Yep.
One of many times.
Let me go out on the limb this time. I don't think he needs to make this putt. Let's see if he does it anyway. You don't always do things because you have to. Sometimes you just want to.
And he's great at measured bids. and adjusting his pace to the situation. That's exactly what we saw there from Paul.
Safe run. Tried for it. Subconscious didn't let him blast it way past. No OB, easy par.
Yeah, and arguably just put the pressure right back on Rathbun. Right? I'm parked for par. Go ahead. It's not parked. I mean, Rathbun's close, but he's not that close.
He's got to hit it. After last hole, not being able to capitalize on a chance, he needs this one. I think he's circle 1.
You can keep moving.
Raven Newsom out in circle 2.
Raven Newsom does need to make this putt.
Yes, he does. He needs to make every single putt he's going to see the rest of the day.
Oh, good effort.
A ton of chains, but it splashes out. He is going to take a bogey 4 on hole 8.
I think more importantly, Raven is just really accepting this experience. This is a great time for him, man. This is all stars across the board. Now, Rathbun for birdie.
Oh, my goodness.
Boy.
Somehow that settles in the basket for a 2, and he grabbed a stroke on McBeth.
There's no pictures on the scorecard, but you are being followed with cameras that are blasting this around the world. So
I love the I got away with it smiles we see sometimes. Ben Callaway posterizing this hole. Ridiculous. And that is a drop-in par from Paul. That will lose a stroke to Gavin. We'll watch that putt again in just a second as Raven drops in the 4.
And just watch the reaction of Rathbun here. We're going to watch this through the back 9. Watch his hand. He does extend.
It was weak, though.
But he pulled it back just a little bit. He's got to learn from Missy Gannon and just blast that thing in there. Trust the process, man. You've trained, and you're ready for it. But it's a birdie nonetheless.
And that little crawl in takes the Boda brothers to 20. So if you guessed 20, you got that basket and Gavin to thank, because that was by just a hair's breadth that thing got in there.
You know it. Hole number 9.
What's our play, Sexton?
This one's unique, I think. It's playing pretty easy as far as the holes on this course. You're going uphill, blind shot out of the gap. You need to get a little bit of turnover either way you throw it. If you go backhand, mid-range, or putter, you're going to need to go low and see some initial turn to the right to stay in bounds. The flex forehand is also a great option, but either one of those, if they come out of the hand flat, you're going to be heading for out of bounds because you have to throw nose up here to get up that hill. So then you're going to be kind of cresting and rising through the shot. The turnover is the only way to get that nose back down and find the safe land. If it stays up and flat, it just sails out of bounds.
And you can see that OB line within the circle on the left-hand side of the basket there. Our awesome gallery out at Pickard.
55% of the field has taken birdie here on number 9 today.
Tickets sold out at Pickard, rightfully so, to watch the world's best. Ben Callaway on the tee of 9. I believe that's his buzz.
And we did have a cut today, did we not?
Yeah.
So some of those statistics, if they sound a little too good to be true, it's because you're only talking about the top half.
Ben is headed left. This needs to get down quickly.
I don't know if the line is painted up off the wall.
We're going to find out.
I think it must be. If he's running like that, the line must be painted off. Maybe not.
He must be straddling the line.
That's nicer than usual. Usually they give you, usually that's out.
Yeah, usually it's a couple feet, right?
They give a little bit of buffer to those walls. So great. Inbounds.
Rathbun.
Still in with a chance.
That is way right. Fade, hurry.
He's going to like it, though. Oh, no. Wow. He was way overturned.
Oh, he's going to be going way back too, Nate.
I mean,
Oh,
I mean, I guess I should have listened to him.
Oh.
I could have swore that was coming back. That's 2 bogeys on mine. I'm going to wait till they land, everybody at home.
McBeth. Let's see what he's got for us. I think that's his Malta.
Oh,
Mid-range from Paul. That's headed left as well.
This could carry. No, I think it'll be safe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right at circle's edge, it looks like.
Down quick enough.
Advantage Paul when it comes to he and Gavin.
I guess the one thing I can say confidently is that these players truly can't see anything.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
Raven's trying.
He's going to try to show us this forehand. He's showing a lot of hyzer with his practice swing. This must be a pretty flippy disc. This is certainly not a hyzer shot. Now there he comes over the top.
Yeah. Go in.
Fantastic.
All right.
Man, and you kind of question why everybody's not throwing that shot. I mean, that was great.
Looking at James Conrad's second on hole 15.
Conrad in beautiful position, but can he? Oh, no, he clips a tree.
Oh, he does. Going to be quite a bit short left. Really going to take birdie out of the equation for him on that one.
Big time. He's 100+ feet back. Now,
Calvin on 11.
This is Calvin's tee shot.
It's a little tight, but it's way up there. He's going to have to go pretty high, I think, to have the chance to go back left enough, if he's even got a ceiling. Those branches might be over top of his lie.
He needs to channel his inner Jessica Weiss and bust out a forehand roller right here. Did you see that this morning?
I did not.
It was
awesome.
Incredible.
It's a great shot shape.
Here's the thing about Calvin. It's really sticky grass by this basket.
That's a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Somewhere out there between circles is my guess for his putt. We'll find out when he gets there, I promise. There you can see Ben Calloway is straddling that painted line, and that is pretty generous.
Yeah,
to your
it
point,
is.
Nate.
Usually they give a couple disc widths between the line and the wall. This time the wall maybe does have the potential to save players.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Gavin hasn't thrown. I'm curious of where he went out of bounds. Can he make the par?
I would say yes. If this is where Ben is, he's clearly inside circle 2.
But he should not be this far up, I don't think.
I don't know. If it flips late, I think it's possible that it could go out of – it didn't go out of bounds by a whole lot.
See, I thought it was out of bounds from about halfway up the fairway. Oh, Ben Calloway.
The spotter is right there, so I think the spot will be pretty accurate.
That's a great point, Kama. Angles can play tricks on you. Ben Calloway is regretting that putt for sure. Really wanted that one and needed it to get
You can kind of see the angle of the fairway. Gavin did sort of bend late, so par putt.
That's a generous spot in my eye, but he takes advantage.
Big time putt.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Make it.
He did it.
And that is channeling the Missy Gannon inside Gavin Rathbun right there.
He's putting through the basket.
Bang.
Nate.
That was beautiful.
Not to it. Putting through those chains. Rolled back that Zucker replay. Paul McBeth from circle's edge for a birdie. And to grab another stroke cushion.
Wow, that was a solid contact.
That's about where he hit the last putt. Same spot, but that one decided to jump out of the chains. Disc golf. Expect the unexpected. That is a birdie for Newsom and a stroke on the card for the second time in 3 holes.
And I know we're going to see a replay of Paul's putt.
Yep.
As Ben's going to tap into his par, but I mean, when we watch this replay, Paul just hits it so solid. It was such a great putt, and sometimes greatness just doesn't
I want to say
pan
it's
out.
a little right.
No,
Oh, no, it wasn't.
no
That was
way.
perfect.
I'm voting.
Oh, that was gross.
Got to vote spit this
Ugh.
time.
Yeah, that's a spit for sure. I read that one wrong.
I mean, he just hits it so solid.
And
Wow.
he got in the circle. Calvin Heimberg is a talent. Putting for birdie to get to 22 down and a share of the lead.
And Calvin Heimberg with another birdie, but he's through hole 11. the hardest hole on the course. Calvin takes a birdie, but remember, guys, 12, he threw OB this morning as he restarted his second round.
Conrad throwing 3 on 15. Off the cage?
Right off the top of the basket. James Conrad playing with our fellow commentator, Philo Brathwaite.
Oh, there he is.
And there it is. I mean, it's Calvin at 21, McBeth at 22.
Those two guys are responsible for a lot of YouTube views.
Calvin is right in this thing. He's only 2 holes ahead.
Yeah.
And I mean, and he's through 11.
Which can go either way.
Yeah, can he just forget about what happened this morning and just play? I mean, just go out and play. Keep putting it inside circle 1. Keep making those putts. That's what Calvin needs to do right now.
Raven Newsom on 10.
How many of these guys are going to push for the eagle? That's what I'm wondering now. Are they all going to stick to the same game plan, or are we going to see final day need to do something big? I wouldn't be surprised to see 2, maybe even 3 of them attack.
I mean, Callaway.
Yeah, we're going to see 3, right?
Callaway for sure.
Yep.
But
Rathbun can play the smart play and to maybe avoid disaster. He's in it's a questionable call because going OB here on the second shot, I don't think you're that desperate at this point. You're just 1 stroke behind the lead.
Tough to give away what would be a very easy birdie from a good drive.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I think Ben's drive looked huge right there.
It was massive. Rathbun looking to follow those trails.
He's coming through with speed.
That is just smushed.
Way up there around the corner. And well, not really
the
corner.
There's Ben right next to him.
Those are probably pushing 450, 475 on pure hyzer.
McBeth on the tee of 10.
A little bit higher, a little bit more conservative. I would guess 40 feet shorter.
And while they walk up the fairway, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with some up shots from our leaders on hole 10.
Thanks for coming in today. Have fun out there. Let's go.
At Dynamic Discs, we don't just work disc golf, we play disc golf. Be extraordinary, be passionate, be dynamic.
You are looking at Calvin Heimberg on hole 12.
He went OB at 9 a.m. this morning.
This looks much better.
Yes.
I think he got over the rock wall.
I do too.
He is inside circle 1.
Count it.
Doesn't matter if it's the same day. It's a different round. And a different Calvin Heimberg.
I say, you were wondering if he's shaken off around earlier today. Looking at that scorecard, we can say definitively yes.
Boy, he's dangerous right now because he could set a score.
Yeah.
He has the distance to get the birdie on 18. Clearly can play all these holes well. So
if he can birdie perhaps 5 of the last 7, something like that.
Yep. That's what he needs to do.
And James Conrad, after hitting off the cage, did go on to make that par putt. You are looking at Raven Newsom throwing 2 on hole 10.
Looked throwing pretty hard. I don't think he's going all the way. No, just a perfect position play.
I don't think Raven quite has the backhand power to make those 2 shots work.
I think it's sort of a big deal coming down the stretch here. If Gavin can throw farther than Paul on the multi-shot holes and see Paul act and then judge his strategy after that, which I think Gavin can in a lot of these situations. Get out there in front of Paul, watch Paul lay up. Now, if you're Gavin, you got to walk up to your lie and trust your gut. If it looks like the eagle play is there for you, I think you just go for it. And if not, don't go for it, obviously, and just try to get ahead of Paul again. Just barely ahead of Paul again.
The tee shot looked great. Let's get that out of the way.
It was great.
And thanks to our newest sponsor, Hempfield Botanical. Hempfield is certified B Corporation. I mean, these are business for good. Huge thanks to them. They'll get you for your CBD needs.
And big thanks to them for sending us all care packages.
Yeah, how about that?
Much appreciated. And it'll be Ben Callaway next. I mean, look, we know they're in perfect position. But I think the decision-making from Gavin will tell us everything. We could speculate all day long. He's going to throw here in, 60 seconds. But we know Callaway's going for it. Can he learn from Callaway maybe?
Yeah, he's standing right behind him, I'm sure. Take a look at the line. Keep an eye on those spotters flags. Oh, denied at the last second by the trees.
And the thing for Gavin, that might have been the best thing that could have happened, because that's a very generous spot, by the way. But where are you last in bounds? It's a layup.
It is. Just wants the birdie.
Smart. I'm telling you, that is smart right there.
Yeah.
That's playing disc golf.
Well done.
I think best thing that could have happened to him is seeing Ben Callaway go OB. Because are you going to die on your sword in some awkward lie, OB right? It never came back left. Maybe he never practiced it. Yeah, I'd rather wait till 18 when his distance is going to have advantage.
Yeah.
Just like you said, he's going to be able to see Paul play on 18 before he makes his decisions.
You would think. If both of them get their best shot out there, I think Gavin's goes farther.
No doubt about it. Our leader should be pitching across the creek shortly.
Obviously, we always have given big rounds of applause for guys who do take the gutsy line and do execute it. But for me, I always look at a guy who's willing to lay back. Nate Sexton, you're one of those guys. You're willing to make that play. You're willing to fight another day. And that's what Gavin, I think, did with that shot.
Raven throwing 3. Great birdie opportunity.
That's a nice shot. For me, it's always been just so hard to say no to an easy birdie. And a tough eagle, it's a tempting thing, but my calculus often comes out, hey, man, like this is the easiest birdie of your day. Why not? Let's just get a blue number on the scorecard.
Yep. Once you do the math and crunch the numbers, that is often the better play. Paul McBeth approaching for a birdie. A drop-in birdie. So he's moving to 23 after 10. Gavin wouldn't mind a 22. And looks like he's got it.
It's parked.
Yeah, it is.
And we were just talking about stats today. Number 10, again, 80 players making the cut. 73% made birdie or better. Well, there's a park job from Calvin Heimberg, so the birdie train continues on. But back over here on number 10, and if you're Gavin Rathbun, do you want to be a part of the 6%? It's only 6% or worse that took bogey. So I think a very smart play. We'll move off of that now. But really, Gavin, I mean, what a battle we have here. Calvin has officially now tied the lead. And of anybody, when we looked at the chase card before we came on air, we obviously looked at Calvin Heimberg. And we said, this guy can make the run.
Yeah, and I mean, if this morning had gone a little differently, we could be talking about Calvin 5 shots clear.
Right. Ben Callaway. Putting 4.
Well, he's putting for birdie, actually.
That's what I said. Putting 4. Yeah. Never had a chance on that one.
Humidity perhaps playing a role. You hear him say, it's just sticking to my hand, and that can be a really frustrating conditions to play in sometimes when you just don't feel like you can eject the disc at the moment that you need to.
That's his miss lately, isn't it? Missing right. So now coming back for par.
Well, you know, and pressure's like water seeping through a dam. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit more, it's a little bit more, and then it starts to become just more weight on you. And really, Ben's been riding this for days now, and he's handled it very well.
Raven to go to 19 down. Job done on 10 for Raven. Gavin and Paul have absolute drop-in birdies. Paul will maintain a one-stroke lead. It is now over Gavin Rathbun and Calvin Heimberg. And Adam Hammis, part of the conversation now, and we'll see why. This is for 4 straight birdies on 15.
Wow, you see Adam, you know, one of the best players in the game right now. Disappointing start to this event, rising through the ranks. Now, for me, I don't think enough holes left for him to win this thing because he is through 16, 15 now.
Yeah, it's the best.
You never know. You never know. But certainly not being in the lead yet with just a couple left to play, I don't know there's enough.
Heimberg on 13 for him play.
Yeah, and remember, Heimberg, he juiced it long this morning. Didn't make the putt coming back. So we'll see how he is up there. We don't have a catch cam with Calvin as we send it to Conrad, but there you go. That's a circle one attempt for Calvin Heimberg coming up.
And that dog cannot wait to find out who wins.
Yeah.
You can tell in it.
Birdies, pars, it's all about treats. Give you a treat. Speaking of treats.
Everyone is in for a treat on the Disc Golf Network.
Yeah, 4 events, 4 weeks.
And whether you guys are on YouTube or the Disc Golf Network, thanks for watching today. If you're on YouTube, think about subscribing to the network. Half off with a PGA membership. And a lot of bang for your buck.
Absolutely. These 4 tournaments, 4, multiple courses, right? Different types of events, different types of courses. It's going to be great. Hammis with that birdie goes to 10 under par for the round with a bogey.
And 3 to play.
Yeah, so Hammis, the number 8th ranked player in the world, has an opportunity here to have a nice high finish.
Raven Newsom wandering around on the tee of 11. Looks like he is ready to go. This one playing, how's this playing today, Nate?
It is today only the 3rd most difficult hole. It's been averaging our most difficult hole over the first 2 days. 17% of the field has found birdie here.
Newsom off the tee.
High line is the aggressive choice.
Kick in the fairway. I think he's stuck in the tree, and I don't believe we have 2 meter out here in Iowa, so.
That's probably the best thing that could happen. You'd rather stick in it and be out on the edge, drop it straight down, than fight through it, certainly.
Rathbun.
He went wide yesterday as well.
Yeah, this has been his play. It's been working, though. And it works again.
Yes.
Tombstone, I think.
Some guys just throw too far. You just got to, if you want to get a full swing, you got to go 100 feet high.
That's never been my problem.
McBeth, shush, you throw so far.
The holes were shorter, Ian.
You are full of it.
Well, not in this group. Not in this group, he doesn't throw far.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Paul with the high line as well.
Yes, and Better's
Rathbun.
That's a death roll.
Might be bad.
What kind of
No
roll was
way.
that?
At first I thought good, give him a little better angle, but as
Right.
that continued, maybe turns it into a flex now.
Yeah, hopefully he's on the outside on that first cut. Ben Callaway looking to bounce back from that par on hole 10. Callaway finding some early trees, and it is starting to pile on our Iowa native, unfortunately. While he walks to that lie, we are going to watch Adam Hammis teeing on 16. An extremely dangerous hole and a very tough too. Here's the drive. Looks pretty good, but you never know until you get down there on 16.
Well, and unless you're down on the low section here on 16, you pretty much have to lay it up.
Yeah. He's on the bottom, but right, and does lay up. Oh, he went OB, unfortunately. So that is a bogey drop in. So that takes Adam further out of contention.
Definitely out of the hunt for the win, but still can have a great day.
Firmly in the hunt for the win is this man, Calvin Heimberg, putting for birdie on hole 14.
And that is 8 under for the last 7 holes for Calvin Heimberg.
He's got an eagle sandwich with some thick birdie bread.
I mean, yeah. Those are double slices, man.
He's carb loading. Ben Callaway is in an unfamiliar and unfortunate location.
Well, is it unfamiliar?
Hey,
Didn't
that's
we
a good
see
point,
him
actually.
here? We saw him here, and he tried to go huge, and he paid the price. He was kind of caught in the woods,
That's
tried
right.
the tomahawk.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was hard to see him.
I mean, he's past the mandatory. So
you hear him say, "I don't know where the basket is."
Yeah, can you just take this other? There's no OB over there.
Yeah,
well,
and I
look at it though. Do you want to be walking through that?
I mean, no.
It's
This is going to be a smart play. I like this. He's going to lay it up. Yeah, nice job, Ben. That's
yeah,
brilliant. That
it
is
is.
brilliant.
Perfect shot.
Taking your medicine.
I know he's frustrated from a bad tee shot, but with the alternative being what he did back on Friday, I think you take that both rounds.
Yeah.
Still smiling.
Yep. You'd love to see that decision and the execution as well.
To me, that says, you know, he realizes that he's not going to win this, but he can still play for the podium.
Right.
And I think that's what that play says. If you still feel like you can win, you probably have to try something crazy. But that's him kind of saying, no, I'm going to just play my best golf here, play smart, play my plan, and see how far up the board I can get.
And Raven Newsom was in that tree. But like we mentioned, no 2-meter out in the Midwest.
Is it me first?
It looks like it, yeah.
It's kind of that situation you alluded to, Nate, where it's a tree hanging out over the...
Yeah, that's why I think
Yeah.
it maybe is best case, that it catches it really quick. Maybe he doesn't have to fight his way too far in there because clearly it still had energy up that high. Yeah, this is probably a better lie than he gets if he fights through that tree.
Flex backhand from Newsom.
This looks great. A little short maybe. Just a little bit.
Roll to the basket.
Nice shot. It's a very nice shot from that position.
50-footer, somewhere around there. Gavin Rathbun stepping up next. Needs to put this close.
Playing quick.
That's his style, though, I think.
It pushed, my friend. It pushed.
And it rolled right to the bucket. Yes! Off the catcher koozie for a birdie. Sick.
Gavin Rathbun. Yeah, it pushed. And he took a rare skip on this side hill on number 11. Great shot.
Ben Calloway. Great placement on his second, looking at his third right now. Little wide, needs to climb the hill. End up right on circle's edge for par.
And how far right did McBeth go? Pretty far right. I still think his angle is workable.
Yeah, it kind of stopped in that first little
He's going to go
cut
scout
along.
it. Make sure he knows exactly where that basket is.
And we saw Heimberg here yesterday, and the typical miss is overturning it just a little bit too much and not allowing it to climb the hill. The one thing I'm noticing here is that Paul actually has a little bit more angle to go more hyzer than we saw from Heimberg. So I would say even though he did take an unfortunate roll, still a good position here for Paul.
He might be able to get away without throwing flex. Don't you think? He could almost just kind of go flat finish.
Yep. Yeah, utilize a little bit more of just, the overstability of the disc here.
Yep, did not need to go Anheuser at all. Can this fight up the hill? A little bit, yeah, that's very good.
Yep, inside circle 1.
And we got a quick Gavin Rathbun reaction to that beautiful shot he just threw. And the crowd let him know it was great. It took a while to be great.
He's watching it saying, go, sees the skip right there, sees it roll, sees it hit the koozie, and he's loving it.
That was fantastic. And swinging over to the man of the hour right now, Calvin Heimberg.
Great
Second
position,
shot.
a little far back.
I think he did it. Yep.
Yeah, I saw the forward skip.
Short left, right?
Calvin is in circle 1.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Mark it 0, dude. That's a birdie.
I mean, such a big shot there from Rathbun in that moment. Beautiful tee shot, third hardest hole in the course today, hardest over the weekend, and executes just a lovely shot. A little bit of fortune with the roll, but, look, I think Gavin, at the moment, is showing that he's in it to win it.
Without a doubt.
He's passed all the tests
Without a
at
doubt.
this point.
Continuing to put pressure on McBeth.
Newsom is out here in Raven range trying to snag a birdie. Not so much for Raven. A valiant effort. Little frustration from the young man, understandably so.
I cannot reiterate how great it is for Rathbun to have his mom with him here today. Arguably the biggest moment in Gavin's career.
If he takes it down, it definitely will be.
But I think regardless, you're there with your family. You're in it. This is why they get into it. This is why kids start playing disc golf, to be in a battle with the greatest player of all time. And your family's right there with you.
Callaway to save par. Yes, you love to see that from Ben. Bouncing back after a rough couple putting holes.
Great save.
Mm-hmm. Paul McBeth inside the circle, putting for birdie. And if you noticed at the bottom,
wow, so Raven kind of zoomed this one past.
Yeah, that's
just a little bit.
The man putts with pace, that is for sure. Raven for the par save. Great putt, Raven. That's a drop-in birdie for Rathbun.
Amazing.
It's the first one we've seen on this hole. And back over to Calvin Heimberg on 14, putting for birdie. And if you saw the bottom score tracker, you know this one finds the heart of the chains.
There's just, look, we said it before. Every DGPT has been in the top 5 for a reason.
It's remarkable. We're going to take a quick break while they walk to the next hole. We'll be back with some drives from our leaders on hole 12.
I started playing disc golf with my family when I was 8 years old. When I was 16, I got my first job as a cook at a bowling alley, and that's when I made my first batch of beef jerky. As I got better at throwing, I also got better at making beef jerky. Everyone told me they loved my jerky. After 15 years of making my beef jerky as a hobby, I decided to make it available to everyone. Double G Craft Jerky. Give it a try. You're gonna love it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Feel like it's over.
Back to the action. Excuse me, looking at Gavin Rathbun. That is very inside. And
this is a Mando miss, is it not?
He got a green flag.
Maybe he made the Mando. Must have.
Well, I think there's going to be a conversation about that.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get to watch that again after these guys drive. McBeth on the box. Very reachable par 3, but a demanding line. I think he did it.
Money.
Cameraman Jukes jumps out of the way, and Paul's Undertaker. Yeah, I think so. Is well thrown, and got a little away from him there, Doss.
You know, the reason I say money is because he's over the creek, he's over the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in circle 1. There's a lot of danger short here. You'd rather be just a little bit long.
Yeah, I don't think he could have actually thrown it much better. It just got kind of a
little speedy.
Yeah. But you need that speed to carry the wall that Raven just scooted over. Well, I guess that's the better shot right there. Raven Newsom putting it close for another birdie. He's playing well.
He is. He's hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
Tied for 5th. 5 under for the day.
Ben Callaway also in that tie for 5th, along with Nathan Queen. Callaway going buzz. Got a good ground reaction inside the circle for a birdie putt. And we are going to be popping over to Calvin Heimberg, watching him throw his second shot on 15.
Wow, not a great tee.
Yeah,
he must have hit that. He hit that tree.
Out of position and
in the circle almost.
50, 40. Hard to tell.
Makeable.
You can't put it past him.
Yeah, that was just a poor tee shot, unable to get to the top of the hill. You know, Nate Sexton, it's questionable if Rathbun did make this mandatory. I mean, clearly he landed inbounds. He's not in the creek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was close.
Let's see if I think production's working on grabbing another replay of that shot. Gavin, while Gavin tries to find the disc.
In this situation, you kind of got to trust the spotter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the players.
Yeah, the players saw it. They had a nice view from it, top of the hill. Doesn't seem to be much conversation, although, yeah, I mean, Rathbun's just lining up. So we made the Mando.
All right. Really needs to get up and down from here, and it's not guaranteed. But he's guaranteed it after that great upshot. And I wanted to see it, and production has our back. Let's check this out.
Yeah. Look to be 2 or 3 feet left of the tree that's marked.
Is marked as the mandatory. Yep, you can see the sign there.
Yeah.
So all good for Gavin. He's going to get up and down for par, but Paul McBeth is going to have a birdie putt to extend his lead to 1 over Calvin, who has that long circle 2 look.
Looks like Paul McBeth has reached his lie. We're going to watch his birdie bid. Went just a skosh long on the drive. Paul converts the birdie and pushes the lead.
Watch his reaction. He knows how important it is. I always talk about it, the mini fist pump out of Paul McBeth. He knows that's a big putt. That's one right there to take yet another stroke.
Love watching
Gavin.
Love watching that Zuka replay. Ben Callaway. You have to have intent for it to count as a stroke. Ben putting for birdie.
Come on, dude.
It didn't stick in his hand long enough on that one. Struggling to find the middle. There's a disappointed Ben Callaway. You can understand why. You know he wanted to put on a great performance for his hometown crowd. Or home state crowd anyway.
Well, he is. He's not playing up to the standard that he wants to, and he's certainly not near the victory, but he is putting on a great performance here as the defending champion.
Well put, Nate. Gavin, that is a par. That was a birdie for our friend Raven Newsom. This is a par for Ben Callaway. We're going to do a quick replay of that Paul McBeth putt.
Well, the tee shot. Let's take a look at the tee shot.
Oh, yeah, looks like it is a tee shot.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
how much control, Paul, double Mando down the hill.
Look at this awesome V-cam. That is a lovely shot from our DGN crew. You got to get out of the way. You know, the shot's important, but you can't affect that disc flight. Looking at Calvin Heiberg on 15, putting for birdie from the first cut.
This would be an incredible make. Probably a 10% chance of making this putt with all those bushes. Oh, and a great effort. I mean, a millimeter.
That was chains?
That was top band going dead center.
Oh.
Wow.
That's where Calvin aims on the long ones. Sometimes he's a little too good for his own good. Getting a look at your outright leader for the first time in a little while. Paul McBeth with a 1-stroke lead over Calvin. Gavin on his card, sitting 2 back. It's going to be an exciting finish, guys. Onto the tee of 13 goes Paul.
And Paul hasn't been fantastic here. We saw him catch those limbs.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like it's in danger. It gets, oh, is it in the OB?
We're going to have to check the flag.
Where did it go?
There is no flag on this hole, but he did take a hyzer kick towards the OB. You just showing him out of bounds.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to have to wait to just confirm he might have snuck through the backside. It is sort of an OB island.
It was a bad shot, but it looked like it was just going to hit that tree and drop. It got that kind of boost off the tree, popped it out wide, and it looked to me like it went straight into that OB bunker.
Wow, another great shot from Raven Newsom not to be overlooked.
Now, what is Rathbun going to do here? This is
Grenade?
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he can?
Where is it?
It's right there. I think he tombstoned it.
It isn't that good, though.
No, it's not good.
Huh.
That's the area James Conrad punted from on Friday. It's downhill to an elevated basket. Gavin's got to be careful on that putt. Man, that door was open for Gavin.
Maybe he just didn't want to make a bogey. You know, that does take bogey out of the equation. He's not going to go OB. Oh, Ben Callaway finds that.
Paul McBeth is going to make a bogey.
Right.
If he's in that
So
bush.
he's like, I'll take a par, I'll get my one stroke and not get greedy and try to go for
That's
two.
That's crazy. You got to get greedy right now, I think. But he's still going to run that putt. It's not over.
You think so?
Let's check the catch cam here.
Okay.
Let's check the catch cam here. It's like we said, this hyzer kiss right there.
Where'd it go?
Well,
it's still coming.
That, and he did not come through the other side. So that bush is an OB island here on number 13.
And we are now on 16, looking at Calvin Heimberg.
It comes down to this hole.
Throwing his Rhino down the hill. This is such a big hole that can go so many different ways. Nestle.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my.
Shot of the tournament for Calvin.
And Paul's going to take a bogey, 24. Calvin's going to move to 25.
Wow.
Two-stroke swings happening all over the place, not even on the same card.
We got to see where Paul's lie is. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to throw one in, but I kind of think he might be behind all of that. Maybe can't even see the basket. We'll see where he ends up getting marked.
Oh, he is. Is he right in the middle?
I mean, he'll get his
Wait
meter.
a minute. Has he already marked off a meter here? Questionable. He is in bounds.
Whoa.
Oh.
He is in bounds.
So that was a UDisc scoring error
I
there.
could just see the way that he was lining up. He didn't put a mini down or anything.
Yeah, his disc is just right there. So for birdie now. How the turntables. That's aggressive.
Yeah.
But you like the aggression.
Oh, I mean,
when you're Paul McBeth and you make comeback putts all day.
When you get that fortunate, he just didn't penetrate. He kind of hit the edge of that OB island, stayed in bounds. Rathbun.
Oh, he's a lot closer than I thought he was. Putting for birdie.
Wow.
Cash money from Rathbun.
Grenade's
Huge
the play.
putt.
Grenade is the play.
Clearly.
I don't know what I was talking about. When you know you can knock down a 45-footer, go ahead. Do whatever you want. Amazing.
There's no trees in the sky, Nate.
Go ahead. If you want, yeah, you can tap out.
I mean, shots of the tournament coming from all over the place. The shot from Calvin, that putt from Gavin. Man.
Raven with another birdie.
Yeah.
He's got 4 of the last 5 all of a sudden.
There's so many subplots in tournaments these days. Just how gritty Raven's been today. He has not given up at all. He's just hanging out. He's now tied for 4th place.
He's 7 under through 13. He's killing it.
Right.
Really, when you step back and look at it.
Mm-hmm. Paul McBeth saves par. We thought he was going to come away with a guaranteed bogey, but escapes with a 3 after the inbounds drive. Callaway just pitched up for par and drops that in right there.
So these guys are now going to go play the ninth and sixth most difficult holes.
Okay.
Coming up. But let's take a look at this shot yet again.
Upper Park Play different moment of the
I mean,
day.
it's got to be our play different. It completely befuddled all of us. And
boom.
He's taking his thumb on the underside of the disc.
And it starts to cut right as it flips over.
And the grenade is coming. There's not one young kid out there today who's not practicing grenades. With Kevin Jones throwing it as well as he does,
Eagle.
guys like Gavin and Eagle, that shot is going to be a stock shot in 5 or 6 years.
And if you're a kid trying that one at home, I would recommend the Nate Doss taping your thumb trick. Eagle actually tapes his thumb before every grenade and then untapes it after.
Wow.
Yeah. The inside of that rim can really rip it open if you throw too many of them.
Especially if you throw as hard as these kids.
That's a great point as well. Huge thanks to our friends at Upper Park for sponsoring the play moment different of the day. That's a Calvin Heimberg tapping in the birdie. That's such a difference maker hole.
Well,
when you can get a 2.
Yes, avoid the bogey.
Yeah.
I mean, and to get a birdie, but now 17, he's got to pure this shot. He's got to get inside circle 1 because he does have an advantage on 18. He can get 18 quite easily. So back to the tee here for Raven.
We are on 14.
The 9th most difficult hole of the day.
Playing the forehand to the landing zone, and then he'll pitch across the ravine from there. I like the look of that one.
These next 2 holes, all about placement off the tee.
Gavin, sitting just one back of your co-leaders, Heimberg and McBeth. That's going to go left.
It's got to get down.
That's out of position. The long grass might have saved him from going too far left.
It's tough to tell.
Yeah, we'll see once he gets there.
Forehand flex may be an option.
Yeah.
If he's out of line that backhand can't be played.
McBeth likes the forehand line off the tee on 14. Going Yuli Raptor again. It's
good placement. He's at the top of the hill there. I mean, you really couldn't ask for much more.
Callaway. He's been going buzz on this one. Looks like he'll stay to that play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so good.
The card likes that one.
Right there, right by Paul.
Great landing zone. And while they walk to those, we are going to watch some Calvin Heimberg here on 17.
I mean, when you're trying to win a DGPT, every shot becomes the most important one.
I know, it's so funny.
And for Calvin, this is it. I mean, got to get up on this green.
It's a little inside. Sometimes that gets lucky, though. I don't think it did.
His reaction tells you what we need to know.
Yeah, probably a 60-footer coming up, somewhere around there, depending on how that nestled up. There are your scores as they sit, tight as ever at the top.
Yeah, Hammis putting in a good effort. He is currently putting for par on hole number 18. So it's a 10 under par. And oh, by the way, should mention it.
Yeah, if you like watching live disc golf and all the cards, there's one place to do it, and that's on the Disc Golf Network. Thanks for tuning in today, and if you're not a subscriber, give it a chance. There's a lot of entertainment coming your way.
I was going to just mention Kevin Jones.
Okay.
He also shot a 10 under par today with 2 bogeys, which is the same thing Adam Hammis did, and came up into a 6th place finish. So a nice day for Kevin.
2 great players with slow starts, just working their way back up.
The cream rises. Paul McBeth, second shot. It's going left.
It worked out.
Nice little tree kick right at the end there.
He didn't like it, but it worked out just fine.
And you kind of, briefly, you just have to remember for guys like Jones and Hammes how important these points are. You know, as we get closer to the Disc Golf Pro Tour finals, being in that top 8, so important because you get those buys.
Yeah, it's free money.
It's just, there's, on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, there's always something to play for. Doesn't matter, 5th card, 7th card, 12th card, 1st card. There's always something to play for.
And in all likelihood, we're talking about another record-breaking payday, you know. So to have a bye into the final 2 days, you increase your chances so much. As a great shot there from Gavin. He's going to have an opportunity to birdie.
Yeah, it looks to be just outside the circle. Big putt coming up for that man. Ben Callaway threw a near perfect drive.
Yeah, I mean, I would go as far to say this is absolutely perfect. You know, I mean, from a backhand perspective, this is as good as you can get.
Yeah.
We could all argue be 50 feet forward, but then there's a slope and an OB. So nice shot there. He's inside circle 1. Another chance to make a putt for Ben.
Put on another show for the home state crowd. Raven Newsom getting ready to throw 2. I believe Raven found a late tree there. And while they walk to those lies, let's watch Calvin Heimberg putt for birdie on 17.
Oh, man, he didn't even get inside circle 2. Got a lot of height.
He is going to settle for par. Try to sneak a birdie out of 18. No easy task, though. Nate, you think he can still win?
Well, yeah, of course he can. Obviously, James Conrad proved it. I mean, anything can happen. But, well, just look at the raw numbers here. He's 12 under par for the day. He's at 25. He does have a good chance to shoot a 13 and get to 26. At that point, Paul, great chance to get to 26 right here. But in my opinion, for Paul McBeth, it comes down to hole number 16. Can he get past 16? Even if he plays it short and pitches up and gets par, I think that's better than giving a stroke back. So can he win it? Yes. Is it likely? No, at this point. We're looking at Rathbun.
To me, it feels more like Paul McBeth could lose.
That's a great statement.
Could Calvin Heimberg win?
That's what it would take.
It would take Paul McBeth losing, because I think Paul, in all likelihood, moves to 26 right here.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really putting it on Rathbun's shoulders now, because he's at least on the same card.
Correct.
Let's see how he does. Just outside the circle to maintain pace with Paul. Stay 1 back. Oh, my goodness. Off the rim. And a chance for Paul to once again grab a 2-stroke lead. Over Gavin, anyway. It'll be 1 over Calvin. Callaway putting for birdie. Currently in a tie for 7th. 19 down.
Ben needs a birdie. It's been a while. He's just been close on a lot of these holes.
And he is just not feeling the putting stroke right now.
And look, it has nothing to do with anything physical. This is what I talked about. This is pressure. It just weighs on you, man. I feel bad for him, but, you know, that's the process. All right, McBeth for birdie.
For a 2-stroke lead over Gavin, 1 over Calvin. McBeth converts the birdie beautifully. And that is a crowd-approved shot, judging by the cheers. Callaway will come along and clean up the par. Disappointing after that great drive and upshot to leave 14 with just a par.
Yeah, because you could see it over the last 6, 7 holes for Ben. You know, it just started to weigh on him. Each missed putt, it's a little bit more talking to yourself. A little bit more, come on, man. You know, it's sticking in my hand. It's all the little things. They add up. I mean, he made a great par save on 11, but all the birdie chances he's had, he's really just misplayed them and hasn't been able to make the putt.
An opportunity missed for Gavin Rathbun as well as he cleans up par. Loses a stroke to Paul. He's got 4 holes left to make up a 2-stroke deficit. And that is Raven dropping in the par. And here is that lead. The putt that gave him the lead late at the challenge.
The classic Paul McBeth. Birdie when it counts.
He likes to make those when they matter most.
A million waves to the crowd. There he has the lead.
So Paul has 4 to play. Calvin has just 1 as he's teeing on 18 currently. I'll show you that once it happens though. Right now we're going to be watching Paul McBeth teeing on 15. Calvin ran into some trouble on this one.
Yeah, you could see this uphill slope. You got to get to the top of the hill to even see the pin.
It's a technical drive, and it needs to go left earlier than is comfortable for these power throwers. You need to get it up the hill, but then you need to sweep it left.
Paul hitting just a little bit of a branch there. Could be left with a tricky stance.
Raven Newsom on the tee. Similar location to Paul.
Now or never for Gavin.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you'd argue it has to be perfect to the clubhouse. That's a great start.
I'll be hanging out with Paul right there. Yeah, you got to figure Paul's probably going to get 2 of these, which means Gavin needs to get 4. Paul
like I
gets
said, man, 16
1.
is.
He needs 3.
16 can definitely throw a bogey wrench into the spokes.
He did bogey at round 1, McBeth. Callaway. Similar spot to the rest of the card. And while they walk to those, we're going to watch Calvin Heimberg teeing on 18.
Yeah, on 18, over 1,000 feet, playing uphill the entire way. There's absolutely no way to go for this in 2 shots. So the best Calvin can do is birdie. And let's take a look at number 15, Paul. Paul just teeing off there. Sexton.
Yeah, this is, like we said, it's tricky. It's the 6th hardest hole on the day because of that awkward angle off the tee, I think. It's because people need to push uphill and then sweep left. You saw all the guys catch the bottom of this tree that we're flying up to now. So you have a little bit of room long of that, but if you continue straight, you're putting yourself directly in the rough. You'd love to get out around it enough to be up here in the clear. Then you'd even have the option to swing a hyzer at this green. I don't think anybody in our group is going to have that luxury. It's going to have to be that low penetrating shot kind of over the valley. The amount of turnover is so critical. You have to be willing to turn it towards OB briefly and then finish it back, which is a very, very scary thing to do. Otherwise, we see you down left, 40-footer. We've seen it probably 10 times already this weekend where somebody has found that rough on the left side. Not that it's unmakeable from there, but you'd love to see this thing just come in parked, especially if you're Gavin.
I feel like the margin for error on a park job is about 3 feet, though. You need to get over the OB wall and get down immediately to make it stick anywhere close to the pin. Raven Newsom throwing his 2nd shot on 15.
You can come over here if you want. Okay.
So he is going to have a little bit of that hyzer line. I don't know if he can get all the way there.
Putting some flex on it.
This is pretty far out there. Can it swing back? Yes.
Raven Newsom.
Wow, that was fantastic.
This dude's a baller.
If Raven's selling, I'm buying because that's the shot. I mean, you have to put it out over that OB.
Yeah.
Nice for Rathbun to see that line. This is too high, isn't it?
Well called, Sexton.
But that's makeable.
It is. Yeah, we've seen some makes from there for sure. Getting a mom pep talk never hurts. McBeth stepping up next. Far enough to see the basket. We'll see how hard he pushes that OB right. How greedy he gets.
I believe Paul has made putts out of the woods on the left both rounds.
I feel like you're right.
For birdie. Can he make the adjustment?
Oh, it looks pretty good, guys.
It looks like a mid-range, too.
That's circle one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Might not even be that obstructed. Uphill putt, surely, but
Paul doesn't seem to mind those. Ben Callaway. Pretty nice drive. Looking at his second right now. Oh, that's an attacking shot.
Can it sit? Not so bad.
Looks
Nice
like
shot from Ben.
Yeah, clean spin at the bucket from there. I think I saw.
See the slope here.
I swear I just saw Paul checking UDisc in the one of our other cameras. And Raven, always good for the reactions. He's the anti-Calvin.
that's pretty true.
And I don't mean that in a disparaging way about Calvin.
No, of course.
I'm the biggest Calvin fan. It took a while to get there, as we're seeing right now, but it did, and it was beautifully thrown.
Raven has had more hands over his head today than most everybody all weekend long.
Oh, he just got 2 for 1 right there.
Gavin going to see his lie.
You got to pad those stats when you can.
Yep.
You know?
Most certainly. Gavin also going to go and take a look at Paul's lie. That's exactly what he's doing.
That's funny.
Check that out.
Some gamesmanship.
Sort of interesting.
Wow, that's
because
how golf is played. You got to know that.
Uh-huh. We're having the old who's out discussion, it looks like. Doesn't look like Raven is the winner.
He said probably Paul is out.
Okay.
Really? So that bodes well for Gavin.
Sure. Really well.
Now Paul has an opening, and again,
you see that smile on his face when he saw that gap?
He has done this, though. He has had to putt over a branch a couple of times already this tournament, but specifically on this hole.
Yeah, I think that smile telling that.
Wasn't
he
it?
Walks through there. Oh,
he was straight cheesing off it.
Tell me that's all I've got to do?
Count it. McBeth for birdie to maintain that 2-stroke lead over Gavin and 1 over Vinny.
Wow. Does leave it low despite the good break. And wow, really showing some frustration there. He thought he had that one, as did we.
And now big, big opportunity for Rathbun to get within 1 stroke and make this anybody's game.
He's been hitting these awkward stance putts. He's got that good speed out of the hand.
Oh, chains out, left and high, and oh, big opportunity missed for Rathbun. And a big sigh, and you can understand why. Callaway for birdie. Puts Ben down to 20 down. And a tie for 6th place with one Kevin Jones.
That was Ben's first birdie in the last 7 holes. We obviously saw all the frustration, and that's why.
The advantage of playing on the lead card for Ben, though, is everyone he's trying to pass by the end will be in the clubhouse. So
true.
It's Adam Hammis that he's trying to track down next.
Raven Newsom for birdie, who is on a bit of a burner lately. Makes good again. Puts him to 8 down on the round. No lead card jitters from that guy today.
Not at all.
Where is he running off to?
Here's a Paul McBeth reaction to that missed putt we just saw. And body English works sometimes, but not there. Some frustration.
And a little bit of advice, always punch your disc.
Not a tree?
Not anything else. Ground, tree, Mother Nature always wins.
That's a real pro tip, because we have seen pros not do that, Nate, and it has come back to bite them.
You know it.
On to 18, Calvin Heiberg throwing 2.
Coming up the hill, regardless of how far Calvin was, it's just a position play, and kind of hard for us to tell. But
if Calvin rips it twice and he's inbounds, he's in good position. That's what.
yeah,
that's my read.
There's the one bush.
Yeah.
That Paul was in.
Yeah.
That's sort of the guardian here on number 18. If Calvin's not in that, he certainly can go ahead and attack this green. Look, regardless of what happens to Calvin Heiberg, if he birdies, it's a 13 down. I mean, it's impressive stuff.
That's Sunday Calvin for you. Looking at his 3rd shot live.
Got to go with the slight turnover here. Yeah, that's fantastic.
All right.
Calvin Heiberg, 13 down. He's going to, and now he is putting himself at 26. And I'm telling you, this hole right here is a linchpin for Paul.
Yep.
If he bogeys it, he goes back to 25, and he's forced to go birdie to win the tournament.
And 17's tough, too, even with a shorty.
Calvin's making Paul earn this.
Raven throwing it down the hill on 16. Looks a little early. Oh, no, that's beautiful.
Wow.
Raven Newsom, ladies and gents.
Like I said, if Raven's selling, everybody on the card's buying.
Yeah.
Because any one of them would have taken these shots that Raven's throwing.
He is killing it.
Yeah, he is. Unquestionably so. Ben Calloway on the tee of 16.
He did, Ben.
Roll down to the basket.
Solid.
Take that.
Don't mind that result.
Paul has not played this hole well. He is 1 over for the 2 rounds here on 16.
And his par was a layup for par. It wasn't even a missed putt for birdie.
There's no way he runs any crazy putts now. I think he just needs to get off the tee here.
Looks inside.
Oh, okay.
Hits the catcher koozie. Ridiculous. Come
that'll
on,
work.
Man.
That will work.
Just world champ things.
And I just feel like I don't know that 17 or 18 has the teeth to get McBeth with a bogey.
Yeah, not with a bogey. That's why we were talking so
this
really
one
tightly on 16.
16 could have.
Yeah, it's a swinger.
Paul really doesn't have a chance to bogey 17 or 18 unless, he takes a bad kick or, misses a putt or something. But look, if you're trying to win your first DGPT of the year and you're Paul McBeth, you need to be throwing shots just like this one. It was a little high and inside, but he beats that corner and finds the koozie. Wow, just incredible from Paul.
I think I was going to nestle even without the koozie.
Yeah, because the line is painted down below. Even if he goes off that first little cliff, he could still stay in bounds. That was a really, really well-thrown shot.
Man, world champs clutching up at the best possible time. We are now watching Gavin Rathbun.
And I think now you got to turn your attention to the Gavin v. Raven battle for that third spot on the podium. Not that it's over with McBeth and Heimberg, but Raven's birdieing this. He's going to pull within one
you're right.
of Gavin and be perhaps in position to take home a trophy.
Yeah, and this putt from Callaway, if he chooses to go for it, will be to tie up with Adam Hannes in that top 5 position.
Yep.
And if you're Ben Callaway, this putt right here is going to make you feel uncomfortable because you haven't putted well over the last, hour.
Yeah.
And, but again, he's familiar with this putt. He knows the danger. He knows what's possibly coming.
Is that it? And Ben Callaway's taking a quick break to the men's room.
Yeah, and this will just make it even worse. Ben just has to go through his routine. Yeah, obviously everybody's been waiting for him, but just got to go through his routine and just putt for birdie. But again, OB looming behind. As Nate Sexton said, down the cliff, there's a flat area before you get to the painted line.
Callaway for birdie, hole 16. Leaves it low and right, and he will take a par.
It's a good effort.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And still a couple of chances to pass up Hannes. There's one stroke back of him.
Raven Newsom with a beaut of a drive. 2 park jobs. We've been seeing anything but that all week.
Does it take Raven to 9 for the round with a bogey?
Dude's throwing fire. Raven makes good. Nice birdie, Raven.
To give you a perspective, Raven Newsom is the 58th ranked player in the world. Gavin Rathbun, 38. Ben Callaway, 33. All playing with Paul McBeth, who is currently ranked number 2. So great efforts by all these guys who are well down the UDisc world rankings from Paul McBeth.
And that is a drop-in birdie for your leader to stretch that out to 2 with just 2 to play. Looking good for that man. Calvin Heimberg trying to cut that to 1 with a make on 18.
A nice crowd is gathered at the top of the hill. Cheer on Calvin for a 13 under par.
He makes good on the birdie. What a round from him today.
What a round and what a tournament. I mean, he didn't. If he could have dealt with the weirdness of the weather delays a little bit better, we're talking about a different story. He came out. He was on fire yesterday. He was on fire in the afternoon today. AM golf did not suit him well.
Not his forte this weekend.
In the afternoon, I think he's winning this thing.
Yeah.
To give you that perspective, Calvin Heimberg, when he started this morning, he finished on holes 12 through 18. He shot 2 over. 2 over.
And he just did it in 5 under.
There you go.
Wow.
7 shots.
A tale of 2 different back nines there.
But with that being said, big comeback here from Calvin after the disappointment at the Worlds. Calvin Heimberg clearly not going anywhere. We didn't expect him to. We won't expect him to for a while.
And nothing over till it's over.
I was just going to say, only 3 back, a bogey. He goes birdie, and we've got a playoff. Raven Newsom on the tee.
So today here on 17, only 9% of the field has taken bogey or worse. 49% of the field taking par and 42% taking birdie.
And I would be willing to wager everyone who bogeyed that really needed a birdie. Paul McBeth does not.
McBeth on the tee of 17.
Wait a second. That's the worst. That's the worst place he could have put that disc.
Yep.
Right kick. Left, there's room. Left, you can see things.
There's a lot. And we saw someone have to get crazy over there earlier. I want to say it was Katrina.
Wow. That was.
It's really thick on the right.
It's all going to depend on how deep.
Mm-hmm.
If you went kick, kick, not so bad. Kick and clean, whew, could be real bad. Ben Calloway.
Wow, there it is.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Worst case scenario, though, for Paul. You got to think.
Most certainly.
First available, effectively, and a kick to the right.
Can Gavin take advantage?
Can he ace it?
Yes, he can. Wow.
That's a birdie. All right.
There we go, baby.
We talked about it. We might see it happen.
And by no means are we, I mean, we're celebrating because Gavin stepped up and hit a great shot in a big moment. Let's see what Paul can do.
Yeah.
Paul's so good at scrambling.
Yeah, incredible.
I mean, he is great from out of the stuff and maybe even giving it a little run, but it's all going to depend on the lie. And Gavin Rathbun steps up. What a gutsy shot. What a gutsy shot from Gavin.
Love to see him rise to the occasion there. Might be late, but it's not over, buddy. So Ben Calloway looks like he's found Paul McBeth's disc.
So Paul was much deeper in there, and then Ben did find it on the edge.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough, though.
The stance is going to be probably the most difficult situation here.
Oh
Can he? How hard is it going to be for him to get behind it? Maybe not so bad if that's the position he's in now.
But he's gonna have to go over.
He's looking up.
He's got a great tomahawk.
Wow.
That's a lot in the way, Sexton.
Yeah, I did not see this coming. If I'm honest, what I actually thought was going to happen is he's going to hit that pad under the basket, despite not needing a birdie. This is crazy. He is looking like he has to go up, maybe up or perhaps roller.
Looks.
Wow, this is a bad lie.
Annie backhand now?
I think he's just trying to, well, maybe.
At this point, all he's trying to do is find the edge of the circle somewhere.
Brutal.
You know, an open putt from maybe just in circle 2, just inside circle 1, somewhere in there.
Went to the knee going tomahawk.
Just cannot hit her first available.
This could devolve quickly.
Sounds clean. Amazing.
There's the putt.
Amazing.
What an out from the 5-time world champion.
Still got to make a putt, but wow.
Those
Could
are
have
the
been a
kind
lot
of
worse.
putts he just makes. It's a long one, but he's just got that knack for him. Raven came up a little bit short on his drive after the roll backwards. He's got an awkward stepper coming his way.
Doing it for the fans.
I think he just said, Peter, this one is for you. Shout out to the Central Coast.
Boy, Peter Mares out there filming that beautiful slow-mo all weekend.
I think Raven gets 3 to 4 hands above his head between running this one down. If he can hit it. Get there. Oh, wow.
Almost got in there for sleepy legs. And we got our gallery watching Disc Golf Network. Hi, everybody in Des Moines. Thanks for watching.
Well, everybody, we'll be seeing you here in about 10 minutes. Boy, Paul McBeth has a giant putt right now for par.
Huge moment in this tournament. just inside the circle. McBeth converts the incredible par save.
Wow, that is some hard work right there.
Getting all the scramble points on this hole. So
Just think where that putt for Paul McBeth just hit, spit out back on number 9.
Yeah.
I mean, that was Paul has putted extremely well today.
Newsom makes good on par. Rathbun also converted the birdie, but one hole left. Got to make up 2 strokes. And we're going to roll back a Zuka replay of Paul McBeth's putt here in just a moment, and we'll see just how perfect that one was.
Yeah, and I'm always so interested to see what it means to Paul. And we're going to see that here from the reaction of the great one. Yep, there's the fist pump. He knows it. We know it. And all the fans at home know it as well.
And we caught up with Calvin Heimberg after his round, and what an incredible round that was. We're going to throw over to them right now. Take it away.
Calvin, you've come off a bogey-free 13 under today. What was going well for you?
I was throwing pretty clean. Got a little lucky a couple times, but made most of my putts. I think I missed one inside the circle on hole 1, but overall I was throwing pretty well.
Tell us about your eagle on hole 10.
Yeah, I threw a hyzer up to the top of the hill, and I knew I was 4 back, so I had to go for it and threw another hyzer, and it happened to plinko down probably like 15 feet away from the basket, so it was a pretty easy eagle.
That's awesome. Well, great job, Calvin. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What a round from that man. And there's Paul McBeth doing some U-disking. Got to find out he has a 2-stroke lead with 1 to play.
Now,
I guess 1-stroke lead. Sorry.
Here's what we're going to talk about, okay? While we don't expect Paul to bogey this hole, we didn't expect Calvin Heimberg to bogey it earlier today.
Yeah.
And he did. So if you get in a bad position here, you can kind of get a little scrambly. So Paul at this point just needs to avoid OB. I think if he avoids all OBs and any fairway bunker type scenarios, this tournament's his.
Yeah, I just think that, again, the difference is he doesn't need a birdie. The way you bogey this hole is so easy. If you want a birdie, you could bogey this any day of the week. If all you want's a par and you're Paul McBeth, I think you can find a way to get that.
Rathbun busting out the sick roller.
Wow.
Maybe going for the eagle?
There's just
not from that spot.
The grass is so thick. I don't know.
I've walked this fairway. I've thrown this fairway. It is a long ways uphill. And to find a solid stance to be able to gain 500 to 600 feet all the way back to this now extended pin, very difficult to do. It's one of the reasons I love this finishing hole. It really makes you earn it.
A true par 5. And it looked like he got pretty pinched up against those trees as well, further making that even tougher. Newsom on the tee of 18. Having a great round. That's okay. Out there in the fairway. And your leader by 1 over Calvin, 2 over his card mate Rathbun on the tee of 18.
It's all position plays for Paul, and position 1A there for McBeth. Let's take a look at it. Let's fly it, Nate Sexton. It's the last hole.
Yeah, you've got a lot of feet here. You're going at 1,080 feet, going uphill the entire way. It's generous, wide fairway, which is good for that much distance. The main OB is down that left side the entire time and then wraps around the pin long. Obviously, you got that same tough rough on the right the whole way. It's just about position with all these trees. Where are you going to land? Are you going to have that unobstructed, low, big hyzer kind of play to move up that fairway? This is the bush we were talking about, needing to avoid on the second to allow yourself to make a play for birdie. I think at this point, McBeth could even probably absorb landing in there in 2 and go pitch and have a reasonable chance at the par and the win. But I think there's a lot of other things going on. You know, Ben Callaway playing to try to knock Adam Hammes out of the top 5.
Maybe the last drive of the day for Paul. We'll see.
Yeah. He's still got to rip a couple
last
more.
drive off the tee.
Yeah, drive off the tee. There you
He's
go.
still got 700 more feet to deal with.
Those are upshots, aren't they? I guess not.
Not the first one.
Not the first one.
Another incredible crowd here in Iowa. You can see the tournament director there with the trophy in hand. And will it be another peg on the Paul McBeth podium, or will it be a possible playoff? There's still so many opportunities here. And Raven all day long has had his caddy as well as Sarah Holcomb with him. And for a guy that doesn't have that big of an arm, I think proves that Pickard Park is truly just a tee to green type course. And he has putted really well, but he's kept himself in the fairway, and he's kept himself with opportunities to make birdie. So Raven, if you haven't seen him play before, he's proved himself today.
Yeah, really fun watch. Raven throwing 2 on 18. Got on that one.
Yeah, he did.
Asking for it to get left. I did not see that one finish. Did you guys?
No. As long as it stayed out of the trees, he'll be okay.
Should have another up shot coming shortly as you got to look back down the fairway at our giant gallery out in a sold-out crowd in Des Moines. If they're ever in your neighborhood, guys, go watch them in person. It is incredible.
And Paul has put himself in perfect position. You see this gap sort of just over his back to the right. That's where he's looking right now. It kind of just needs to be a smooth hyzer and just swing it around that bush. If you can do that, that's position 2A right there.
Yeah, or even play short of the bush if you feel like it's that dangerous, you know. Then it's just like forehand jump putt, and you should be home. We'll see. This is the shot right here. This is probably the last real opportunity for him to make a big mistake, in my opinion. Around the bush. Pretty simple from there.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got to remember, now he's in position 2A, which is where you would want to be if you were going for birdie on this hole.
Yeah.
At this point, the shot just needs to be not left
not
and
OB.
not in the crowd.
Yeah.
As long as he's in bounds anywhere, he's going to be able to get up and down. So, you know, it's while every situation's a little bit different, I think in this case, the trophy is almost home.
Callaway throwing 2. Great shot from Ben.
Got to take a second to just appreciate some good weather as well after what we've been through this week. How nice has it been to just see these guys play at a nice pace without any horns blowing.
A little bit of sunshine even to finish the day.
Yeah.
Look at that. Rathbun throwing 2 after that monster roller drive. Oh, the tree's not in the way too badly.
That is way up there.
Way down there.
Yeah, that's going to just be a chip, basically. And, hey, look, if Gavin Rathbun gets up and in, he ties for second place, right, with Calvin Heinberg.
I mean, what if you think he might try to get cheeky and Conrad that one right in?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's almost – birdie looks so likely. He's so far past that bush.
Right. I'm just saying, in this scenario,
Yeah.
of course, if it goes in, you know, well, then, hey, all hell breaks loose. But,
Yeah.
you know, at this point, what a great moment for Gavin. He was on the 3rd card starting his 2nd round. He's now has a chance to potentially win still.
Yeah.
That's still on the table.
Yeah.
But also take a tie for second place on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I said it earlier today with Missy Gannon. These guys and girls have been out there for years, and they haven't had performances like this. These are big moments for these guys, and regardless of what happens here in a moment, I think it's been a great weekend for Gavin.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well
absolutely.
Well said, Nate. Unfortunately, it looks like Raven went a little bit long of the corner and penetrated the forest once more. Hopefully he can find his way out cleanly.
Raven 2 behind Gavin and 2 ahead of Callaway and Hammes.
So pretty decently stress-free 18 for him.
Yeah, he could bogey it and still be fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
you hear Sarah say, "You want to be a little forward?" He's like, "Yeah, that's not happening." Okay. Yeah, just pitch backwards. That's okay.
You can see him chuckling in the forest still.
What an attitude!
Still
from
having a
this
great
guy.
time.
I mean, he's just loving every minute.
He is like that almost 100% of the time. Just has a great attitude about him.
Coming out.
That's a good out.
Job done. He is out.
And you hear the reaction. I mean, the shot was only about 40 feet, but you hear the reaction from the crowd because they've been in these woods before. They've played these holes.
That's funny.
And they know how hard it is to get out of there.
I love that take, Nate. Couple Discraft teammates.
Yeah, and Ben able to play all 3 rounds with Paul this weekend. Ben and Paul, the 2 mainstays on our lead cards.
Yeah.
All 3 rounds.
Raven grabbing some range before he throws his 4th.
Yeah, Raven just needs to not throw OB.
Right. Just get out of here with a bogey.
Bogey finishes 4th. Birdie, he finishes 4th.
It's gotta
Double
be
bogey, he finishes tied for 4th. So
okay. Got to be his best Pro Tour finish, though. I wonder what it is previously. Going to the flex forehand. That did not have enough flex on it. And he has once more found the woods.
Well, I actually think he
did he kick out?
I think he stopped a little bit short of the woods. There's just this last big bush that he might have to chip out and around.
And our research department better than yours. His best finish 14th out at Waco.
It's amazing how well Raven has played. -9. I feel like we've seen him in the deep stuff like 4 or 5 times.
It seems like all day.
And he's getting back out and making big putts, and wow.
So by the way, a park job here, it does end it, regardless if Gavin throws in.
I think he's going mid or putter.
This is the mid zone. We knew this was about 290, right in this area, 290, 300.
Going the smooth turnover to some late flex. This looks beautiful. Lock it up. It's a dagger up shot from Paul McBeth.
Yeah, and that will be your champion, Paul McBeth, picking up yet another tour victory and another win here in Des Moines.
And his first Pro Tour win of the year. Get another look at the shot that locked it up.
I mean, he put himself in perfect position and then executed
perfectly
a perfect shot.
And he can lay up from there if he wants to.
Yeah.
Because that's for birdie.
And now Callaway, again, a birdie. He then passes Adam for a solo 5th place.
Some extra money in that man's pocket, and I think he's done it with a beautiful upshot. Way to finish from the hometown hero.
Solo 5th place, an $1,800 paycheck there for Ben Callaway.
Sweet.
Paul McBeth, if he does go on to win, will take a $7,000 paycheck.
Rathbun throwing 3.
And if McBeth makes good on this putt, something maybe has never happened at the Elite Series level. That'll be his 19th birdie today.
that's fun.
You don't
Nice,
see that
Nate.
too
Nice,
often.
Nate. I like that take. That's good.
After this morning's restart. He'll be bogey-free with 19 birdies just today.
It's going to take a crazy round at De La to match that.
Yeah.
And with that being said, a 2-shot victory for Paul McBeth. On the fairway of 6 yesterday, I have to say this again, he was 8 shots behind Calvin Heimberg. And now he's going to take home a 2-stroke victory. That was round 2 where he was yesterday. And the great one, he just continues to find new ways to win, right? For a long time, it was win from the front. And, at Worlds, it was almost win from behind. And here he actually does it. Incredible stuff from Paul.
So it looks like Raven is in the clear, but still mildly obstructed for his 5th. Would really like an up and down right now. We'll get him some extra cash. 2 hands up. Count them, Nate.
Yeah,
Count
wait,
them.
here comes 3.
There's 3. Can we get 4? Can we get
There's
4.
4.
Oh, 5.
He pads the stats.
He is getting greedy with those.
There's 6. Just seeing another camera angle.
Raven's so good in this awesome moment for him. Maybe, part of his process in becoming a champion later on, Nate.
Above the head fist pumps. It's
they play.
It works.
Gavin Rathbun to finish with a birdie and move into a tie for 2nd place with one Calvin Heimberg. Just inside the circle. And Gavin unable to convert. He will have solo 3rd in his name. Gavin left a couple too many of those out here to chase down your 21 Des Moines Challenge Open champion, Paul McBeth.
Des Moines Challenge presented by Discraft champion Paul McBeth.
Paul, after every World Championships, win or lose, you always come back to the next event and you take it down. What does that say about your determination and your motivation?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a long season. I know Worlds isn't the end of it, so I think I just carry that over. And fortunately, since 2012, I've been 1st or 2nd at all the Worlds, so it's been a good momentum going into the, the next tournament. So.
And speaking of 2012, that was the last time you won here. Talk about how much you enjoy playing here in Iowa.
I love Iowa. I mean, I have family here. I have a lot of family that lives in Des Moines. And
so I would
the
say
courses here are incredible.
For you,
I said it multiple times. The courses here are amazing, and I love coming here to play. And just, I mean, you heard that crowd, dude. It was incredible.
You had great card mates, of course, that you had to worry about. A couple of guys from Iowa, Illinois here, all challenging you. But you were keeping your eye on the second card. Calvin Heimberg was charging. What were you looking at?
Yeah, I was just kind of keeping up because Calvin was shredding earlier in the day, well yesterday, and then kind of slipped up today. But he corrected that and put a solid round together. I think a 13 or something. So, and then Gavin just started out on fire, and seeing how he was playing the first 2 rounds, it was kind of expected. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun battling with these guys, some new faces.
On hole 16, you parked it. You literally bumped up, hit the pole koozie. You were under the basket. You take the birdie. You just need 2 pars to walk it in. But hole 17 seemed to get in your way, kind of like it did for Kelvin. We were talking about that earlier in the round. How difficult was that recovery shot?
Yeah, I put myself in there a bit, and I couldn't. I saw the window I wanted to hit. I just didn't know how I wanted to get out of there and what stance or what kind of throw I was going to get out that window. So I just kind of put my arm back there and just flicked it forward, and it took me back to that thumber shot I was throwing at Worlds on that one hole at 13. So I knew what my disc was going to do at what power. So carried that over for sure.
Well, and as you said, Worlds is only about halfway through. We've got a huge grind coming up. This next week is maybe a little light, but then after that, it's every single weekend. Tell us about your mentality going into these the second half of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I've been preparing for this stretch all year. This is kind of that turn of where we go to disc golf courses. What I like to say is we're heading out to these courses that are built for us. And we're shot shaping through the woods. We're not throwing on these fairways and stuff like that. Golf fairways. So I'm excited for it. Like you said, I get next week kind of off. We got the Pro-Am, the Celebrity Pro-Am, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then I think my next break will really be, going to the Amateur World Championships and checking that out. So.
Well, it's been an incredible week here, 7, 10, then 10, an incredible week for you. Anything you'd like to say to all the fans, friends, everyone else out there, and your family who's not too far from here?
Yeah, I mean, just thank you. I mean, I know they're out there, they don't hear me as well, but, the people that showed up here were incredible. This weather and them coming out here and dealing with this with us was amazing to see. And just everyone that watched at home and stuck with us, and even through all this rain and these delays, that's awesome, because I don't know if I could have done it. So thank you for sticking with us, and hopefully we put on a show.
Well, you certainly did, and again, your 2021 Des Moines Challenge champion, Paul McBeth.
And another signature performance from the GOAT. Unbelievable stuff by Paul. It's always fun to watch. He always talks about putting on a show, and that man puts on a show. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to get out of here. Val's going to take my seat. You'll have Nate and Nate for the OTB After Show. Be right back.
Do I have what it takes? I have the dedication. I have the right equipment. I have the fire. Zuka. Disc golf carts for a better game.
Hey guys, Adam Hammis here. Today I'm going to tell you about my 2020 Tour Series disc, the Wasp. The Wasp is an overstable, beaded mid-range, and what I love about it is how hard I can throw it and know that it's always going to finish left. The shots I typically throw with this disc are soft flex shots, power flat to hyzer shots, and once in a while I'll throw like a little spike hyzer with it. Be sure to pick one up at discraft.com or your local disc golf shop.
The National Amateur Disc Golf Tour. Take your first step into competition or your final step into professionalism. Visit nadgt.com for more information.
And welcome everybody into the OTB After Show. This is the champions version as we're going to talk about our champions. And wow, what a weekend it was. Rain or shine, we were going to crown two champions. And we started this morning with the women. And Val, Missy Gannon, the pride of New York, has been on tour the last couple of years. We met her when she went from AM to pro, and she is now a DGPT champion. What can we say about Missy Gannon?
I mean, there's so many things to say. I've had a couple hours just to think about the crucial moments that she had during the round, and she just looked so solid. And that's what we've been wanting from her all these years that we've been watching her play on the tour. She turned pro in 2017. Her best finish was after the restart when the whole world went on break. She came back at the DDO. She got second place behind Paige, and we thought she was going to start on a roll. We expected to see great things from her. I think expectations grew a little bit too soon for her, but she's maintained. She's had solid finishes, but today was her day. I mean, and what a crazy weekend it was. And for the women, it ended up being just 2 rounds, but she said, you know, I knew I had one more round to go. She was the lead with Kristen Tatar and Paige going into today's round, and she made it happen. And it all came down, again, on hole 18. It was her tournament to lose, and she stepped up and smashed the putt for the win. And, I mean, if that doesn't give you chills, I mean, you're not a true competitive disc golfer. Those are the moments we live for.
Yeah, Nate, you were watching it live as well. What I mean, really, you know, we saw Paige Pierce 2 weeks ago really make an error from a very easy shot, and Missy steps up and it leaves it a little short, but makes the putt, I mean, incredible.
Yeah, and a great charge from Jessica as well. But I think for me, it was Missy. She won it with the putter despite the pressure mounting, and early in the round she's hitting big putts, and they just looked so confident right from hole 1. And if she can do that, you know, the throwing is there for her. That's what it always comes down to in these big tournaments. It's like, can you stick a 30-footer? Clear on the practice green, you made a bunch of them, but now with Paige Pierce standing right over there about to tap in, can you do it now? And today she could, and that's why she's got that trophy.
Yeah, it really is true. And you know, we see the women's game week in and week out here on the Disc Golf Network, and it's, you know, you're seeing Paige take off or Kat take off, you know, certain players. Missy really did it just the pure way. I mean, she really just hung in there, avoided the big mistakes, allowed other people to make those mistakes, all in the while she's making big putts and still executing great shots.
Yeah, and I think with Worlds and how everything built up with how much pressure there was, I mean, it's not just about your skills. It's about how you can handle different situations. What if you throw in the rough? Can you save yourself and still get par? We saw Jessica Weiss do it. Paul McBeth did it. And that came down the stretch. If you're setting up inside the circle for the win, can you make that putt? Missy Gannon showed us how it was done. It's those pressure scenarios, and you don't get that experience unless you put yourself in those situations, and that's what being on tour does. That's the type of skills that these players develop. Every weekend, they put themselves in the situations, but it's only the certain moments of glory that you can truly kind of relish in and go, I could do that again. And that's when the champions are formed.
Yeah, no doubt. We saw the F parity O. That P stands for parity this year. I mean, wow, bunch of new champions and old champions. Champions we've seen win on the Disc Golf Pro Tour before. So a lot of fun there. I mean, Sexton, we saw coming up 18, Jessica Weiss, as you mentioned, playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
When they came up the 18th, nobody had birdied the hole.
Yeah.
And Jessica Weiss parked it,
yeah,
forcing Missy Gannon. What do we think about what Jessica did this week? And is this sort of, I mean, kind of a turning point for her as well this season?
I sure hope so. I think she's obviously very, very talented. She's been fighting through like a couple different injuries over the last 18 months or so. That's my sense for it. I've talked to her a couple times in passing, and it's just this or dealing with this elbow thing. And I got to think that this is a good sign that her body's getting right, and she's able to play to her potential. We saw her just go, forehand on that 395-foot hole and put it past the basket.
Yep.
So that's the Jessica Weiss that we want to see. That's the Jessica Weiss that can compete for major championships. And if she can stay healthy, I think that's what she's going to do.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the distance she had on both sides, backhand and sidearm this week. The way she played 18, again, as good as any. Picked up the birdie. Paige Pierce also followed up with yet another birdie. Last person I really want to talk about is Kristen Tatar. You know, we're big fans of her here in the booth, and you know everything she's gone to get here to be able to compete on tour. She was really a factor. About till the very end, she had a really quiet back 6 holes, shooting 1 over for the final 6. But at that point, she was still a factor. Kristen's game really coming around, Val.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, the more that you're on tour, you're going to get more comfortable. And we know we haven't seen her or any of the Europeans playing on the American stage. I think it's highly competitive over here in the States with so many tournaments, you know, dealing with traveling to each event. That kind of weighs on people as well. Traveling in the U.S., getting everything going with the Worlds, playing at the Canyons last weekend, taking the win. I think that's helping her boost her confidence, and she's getting into the flow of things. And so a performance like she had this weekend is solidifying it. Kristen Tatar is here. She's making a stance, and I'm expecting to see great things for the rest of her U.S. tour.
Agreed. Well, it's that time we've all been waiting for. It's the OTB shots of the day. And today was a long one. We had a lot of shots to choose from, but Val, let's go ahead and take a look here at the putt.
I mean, we get 2 full rounds, all the different holes that we've played. It all came down to this putt for Missy Gannon. She left her up shot short while Jessica Weiss is underneath the basket, forcing Missy to make that putt. Otherwise, missing the putt could have pushed a playoff, but Missy Gannon steps up when the pressure is the highest. From the single, doesn't look as daunting, does it? 27-foot putt for the win. Those are what you dream about.
Yeah, and I think the proof of sticking to your routine is absolutely in the pudding right there, because she stuck with her routine throughout the entire day. And look at her friend, Paige Pierce, the fierce Pierce. Of course, always supporting women's disc golf, there for her friend.
And it's not could have pushed a playoff. It was a playoff. And it's a little bit rare. It's like that's a championship moment. It's do or don't. And it's that simple. You want to win or not. And she did it. And that's a rare thing, especially for a first-time winner.
And speaking of winners,
wow,
Sexton, this shot.
This one on the 17th, right as we were about to kind of gift wrap this thing for Paul as commentators, it kind of felt like, yeah, there's no way he messes this hole up. Then we see him throw the worst drive we've seen on this hole. Go hit the early tree, kick right. He was in there 30, 45 seconds just trying to line the shot up. Eventually, with the kneeling tomahawk, got out onto the chips, into circle 1, still no gimme, and then hits that putt.
Yeah, and absolutely. And before we get to talking about Paul McBeth, Hole number 8 this week was our Boda Brothers birdie hole of the week, and we talked about it, and it was 20 exactly. And Val, congratulations to
Tonu
Naudi picking exactly 20. He picked it correctly by 18 seconds. It's the first person in gets it. So
that's
big
fast
congratulations.
You got to be quick.
Get in each week. Pick the hole and pick the number. You might win a free game. And we will talk now about Paul McBeth and the champion here in Des Moines. Since 2014, he has won every single tournament after the Worlds, and he has now continued to add to that statistic, Sexton.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, what else are you going to say about him? I kind of made this joke earlier. I kind of feel like you could say, well, how about the tournament before the Worlds? And it might be first. Like, that's how good Paul McBeth has been since 2012. Obviously, I've said it a couple times already. He knows how to peak at the right time. The Worlds is the most important tournament there is. He's been first or second there 9 straight years. He's doing, we do. We finally know what those question marks are. It's another first, right? We've been waiting to fill that in. But yeah, it's Paul doing what Paul does, playing fantastic under big pressure. Not surprised, always impressed.
Yeah, and if you have any doubts about where Paul McBeth's mind is, just listen to his interview after with Terry. He has said he's been very fortunate since 2012, the McBeth era starting in 2012, to finish first or second in the World Championships, which in his mind has always led to playing well the following week or the week after that. So, man, Val, Paul obviously winning. We had a slew of other players today. We saw Gavin Rathbun, Raven Newsom. Just, I want to get your perspective on some of these newer players like we're seeing in the FPO, these newer men players coming to the scene and executing. These guys were 50th ranked in the world, 30th ranked in the world, and they played well.
Yeah, and great to see him continue to play well and stay at the top in this event. I mean, it was a lot of different circumstances that these players had to deal with. Rain delays and, is the round going to get canceled? A lot of thoughts going through their mind, but to kind of settle in and just do the job at hand. And that, again, it's just proving yourself as a player. And I think these players, earning their ranks, sitting about 30th ranked in the world, it's events like this. You're gaining that experience of being on a featured card and having cameras following you and trying to live up to all the shots you're seeing Paul McBeth throw right in front of you. And there's a lot of pressure on that. And I think situations like this just continue to build them as a player because they want to be on tour. They want to continue their careers as disc golfers. And I think situations like this, the more times you can put yourself here, the better opportunities you have to possibly win a few down the road.
Yeah, and Sexton, I mean, no negative attitudes from any of these guys. Yeah. So positive.
Absolutely. I think they kept their heads really, really well. Like I was saying kind of at the Open, recognizing that what they have is an opportunity to do something great. And I think both those guys, Gavin and Raven especially, kind of showed that mindset where it was like, yeah, I'm in the woods, but like I can get out of here. And when they did get out, they're so excited. Just keep fighting, keep making more shots. And I mean, this is disc golf growing, right? I mean, go back 10 years. Maybe there's only 5 women in the world that could win a given tournament. Maybe there's only 12 men or something that could win. Now we're talking about the women's division, expanding that number up into the 10, into the teens of women that could conceivably win. That men's number is growing too. It might be 40 guys that you could sort of say, yeah, maybe, it wouldn't totally shock me if that guy popped up and got a win. So that's what we've been waiting for. That's the game getting bigger. That's more talent coming in. That's more people playing overall. And that's a more exciting thing week in and week out.
No doubt about it. Well, big congratulations to the entire team out in Des Moines. It was a wet, rainy, lightning-filled weekend, but they handled it beautifully, had a beautiful payout as well. Great job, guys, and congratulations to both Missy Gannon and Paul McBeth on their victories. Now, more importantly, let's talk about where we go from here. We do have the Celebrity Pro-Am next week, as Paul mentioned, but after that, it's 4 weeks, 4 events in a row. You better not have your weekends too booked, because we're going to give you every second of the coverage, starting with the Discraft Great Lakes Open out the toboggan, then going out to Cale LaVisca's event at the Preserve, followed with a darn near major, the Ledgestone Insurance Open, the way that one is really bumped up, and the Idlewild Open is going to finish that run at the very challenging course down there in Cincinnati. And this is what we live for. This is why we play in the winter. This is why we play in the spring. We live for the summer in the Midwest, and it's going to be great. Well, I think that's everything. You got anything else to add, you two?
I just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks to the team on the ground for sticking it out through some tough weather. Thanks to the fans for still being out there for the players despite weird start times, long delays. They did a great job. Got dealt kind of a tricky hand from the weather, and I think everybody involved handled it really well. It was fun to call the action from here in hot, dry Bend, Oregon.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd add on to that to congratulate the TD, Ty Tenat, I believe. And again, like you said, a smooth run tournament. And this was a canceled event. We were supposed to head over to Europe this weekend. His team stepped up to run this tournament here in Des Moines. And for me, it was great to be back and relive all the memories that we've had in the Midwest. And so congratulations to Ty and the whole team. Job well done. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And big thanks to all the cameramen and everybody back in the control room in Milwaukee. Big thanks to Christine Jennings, Terry Miller on the ground. They were fantastic. Again, that's it for us here. We'll see you sooner than later here on the Disc Golf Network. I'm Nate Dawes. That's Nate Sexton. It's our Hall of Famer, Valerie Jenkins. See you guys at the next one.